SWAC football presented by USAA on ESPN is on the air. It's been 456 days since Jackson State University played their last game. And today, the old number 21, the legend, Deion Sanders, will lead the troops on the 21st day of 2021. On the other side of familiar foe, head coach Greg Ruffin will lead Edward Waters for the first time here in Jackson, Mississippi. Hi, everybody. This is Santoria Black along with the legend Deuce McAllister. And Deuce, this is going to be an exciting game today for both of these teams. It's the first time that these two teams have played for over 450 days. But more importantly, Deion is in town.
Deion is in town. I think you have an exciting matchup. You know, a lot of what he has brought to this this organization, this university, is the excitement. And they, you know, look, they haven't been very good as far as on the field. He's looking to change that culture.
Absolutely. You talk about the culture change. They're wearing the red unis today, and we see Deion out there running before the game, getting pumped up, getting ready to go. And, you know, one thing that we know is he is all in, and we knew about that when he took this job.
Well, he's definitely all in, and you see just the former player in him getting loose a little bit, being able to go out there, you know, and just setting the stage for his players to let them know what it's going to take to be able to be successful not only this game but this season.
On the other side, Greg Ruffin, who was a former assistant coach at Jackson State, comes into this game and bringing Edward Waters in for the first time. He has a lot to do here today because, you know, you got a lot going on with Jackson State.
Well, he's familiar with this building. You know, you talk about the success that he has had in this building, you know, just because he was a former coach as far as Jackson State was concerned. They won't be afraid. They won't be afraid at all in this building.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be an exciting game today between these two teams. Jackson State and Edward Waters meeting for the first time on the field. We're ready for college football here in Jackson, Mississippi, the capital of the state of Mississippi. It's ESPN College Football presented by USAA. We'll take this time out. We'll be right back. Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium here in Jackson, Mississippi. Deion Sanders getting ready for his first ball game as the head coach of the Jackson State University Tigers. And there's a familiar face, Troy Aikman.
Troy Aikman, I mean, obviously a former teammate of Deion, and that's pretty cool for him to come and show support of his former teammate. And, you know, saw him earlier talking to Shedeur Sanders, who isn't eligible to play, but, you know, it's good to see Aikman be able to come out and show some support.
Well, really, the stars really do come out here in Jackson when Deion comes to town. Great to see Troy Aikman coming out and supporting. Now, let's talk a little bit about Edward Waters. This is Rashard Branch, the 6-foot quarterback sophomore from Plantation, Florida. And here's a guy here that's going to have a lot to deal with that Jackson defense. But, you know, Coach Greg Ruffin said it's going to be up to him to really just get his head together and take one play at a time.
Well, one of the things he's going to have to do is lean on that running game. I think that they have guys that are talented that probably can cause some problems for Jackson State. They can't get behind the change, and that means you have to have some success on first and second down and not allow Jackson State just to be able to tee off on you on third down.
Kicking off now for Jackson State University will be Noah Anderson, 5'7", redshirt sophomore, transfer from McNeese State. And just about ready for football here, and as you can see, Jackson State University in the all-red unis and only the logo on one side of the helmet. And we are underway in the Deion Sanders era here at Jackson State University. Comes down, Edward Waters at about the 9-yard line. Great coverage. Huge hit there, and early statement being shown right there. And on the tackle for Jackson State, Justin Reagan, the junior from Memphis.
Pretty good kick as far as kickoff is concerned. When you look at it, you know, that's one where normally you can fair catch it and get it at the 25. He decided to kind of bring it out. They get it right there at I guess about the 19, 20-yard line. And so good tone setter by Jackson State there on the kickoff coverage.
First down and 10 now for Edward Waters as they get the ball to start things out here in the 2021 spring season. First time that spring football has been played competitively in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. First down and 10 at the 19-yard line of Edward Waters. And again, Rashard Branch, 6 foot, 180-pound sophomore from Plantation, Florida. Man in motion now for Edward Waters, and that was Thompson. And the pass going nowhere. He was trying to get the pass out to the left side, but unfortunately, no one was at home, and that's one of the things you got to watch out for. This defense of Jackson State playing really tough in the secondary.
Well, definitely playing tough. They really a pump fake as far as tried to fake the screen and be able to catch the corner, kind of peeking and trying to come up to make that play, but I don't know if the wind caught that football. We do have a little wind blowing back and in that side. I don't know if it caught it there or what, but that football wasn't close to being completed, and right now they're having some issues. They're going to either have to burn a timeout or take a delay of game. Right now you have about 6 seconds left on the play clock, and unless they reset it, and they're not going to get this play off.
Yeah, they're not going to get it off. Early timeout here for Edward Waters, as there were some problems trying to get things done, and Coach Ruffin on the field, and he is not happy early on in this ballgame.
What was interesting is they ran an extra lineman out on the field as far as that play was concerned, but I think they were still missing, and that's where they're running a guy off on the sideline that was supposed to be in as far as a receiver or tight end, and so some personnel issues early, second play of the game. That's not what you want to have. So hopefully Edward Waters can get that corrected.
For Edward Waters, they returned 3 starting offensive linemen, and one of the things that Coach Ruffin did talk about is it brings some continuity to the line, but one of the biggest things that he said it's going to happen is they can't play like Edward Waters today. They really got to step up their game.
Well, I think, when you look at it overall, for them, you want to get into the second half and this game being close. You want to be able to get into the second half and not let just everything overwhelm them early. So they've got to be able to get in the second half of this game and, just to give themselves a chance.
Branch now under center, 3 men in the backfield now for Edward Waters. And here is the give to Malik Stevens, the junior from Orange Lake, Florida. Minimal gain on that play, and it will be third down and about 7 yards here.
And right away you see them go. They try to line up on the football, but they've got a bunch of guys coming in as far as subs are concerned, and now even subbing some of the offensive linemen. But that was a pure power play, kind of a lead play out of the backfield earlier. Get about 3 or 4 yards.
It'll be third down and about 7 yards here now for Edward Waters as they go to a 4-receiver front here for Edward Waters. Branch steps up, and he's going to take off with the football. Now passes at the last minute, nearly intercepted. And Jackson State right there trying to pick the ball off. And that was a big-time play by Keontae Hampton, the linebacker, all-SWAC preseason, all-conference preseason player of the year.
He does a great job of just being able to get in that hook zone, and he's going to be so upset with himself when he has an opportunity. That ball hits him square in the hands. That's one that he should have come up with as far as an interception. You talking about setting the tone. That was a tone-setter type play, but Jackson State is still able to at least to force them to punt and be able to get off the field here on 4th down.
And Coach Sanders talking about how important it is for Hampton to take control of the team, make sure, and they really put a lot of pressure on him too to make sure he understands what his role is going to be. Oh, really a shanked kick here for Edward Waters. It's going to die at about the 40-yard line, and so Jackson State will have fantastic field position to start their first drive of the game, Deuce.
There's some wind in the stadium right now, and I think that, the first play of the game when they tried to set up that fake screen and be able to throw the football down the field, the ball got kind of hung up there, and you saw it there on the punt, how the ball just hung up in the air, and Jackson State gets outstanding field position. They start on the plus side of their side of the football field at the 40.
Not a great way if you're Edward Waters where you want to start on defense. They have a 43 front here to start things off here in this ball game. Jalen Jones, a quarterback, hands it off, and you get a good gain here on first down up to about the 46-yard line. And it'll be second down here for Jackson State.
Nice job there of Jackson State being able to lean on that running back, Amari Clark, picking up about 6 yards there.
Second down and 4. Jones kind of waving some traffic through. It's complete. Out to the near side, and that's going to be Baldwin. Baldwin, a big target, 6'3", 210 pounds from Southfield, Michigan. Transfer from Morgan State. First down and 10 now as the chains move for Jackson State University. No score here in this ball game so far. Slot set up to the far side of the field. Kind of a high snap, and Jones will take off with the football. And he gets some good room, a little bit of a hole to get through. And he gets to about the 26-yard line. And that will bring up second down and about 6 yards to go. And that's what you really want. You want second 6, second, and 5, something that's manageable.
Well, definitely manageable. And they're going fast. They're getting right up, lining up on the football. And so that's going to stress Edward States as far as they're in the neutral zone.
Free play. Jalen Jones passed the ball out, incomplete. And it's going to be an encroachment penalty against Edward Waters. And sometimes you get the yips just a little bit. And there you can see on the right side for Edward Waters, it's Almon Jefferson, the defensive end, a freshman from Bradford, Florida, jumping and giving Jackson State 5 more yards, and it's now second down and about 2 yards to go.
Jackson State playing fast, lining up on the football, and that hurts your depth when you talk about, hey, look, they're going fast, D-line, they can't rotate in and out. You have to be disciplined on defense.
Single wideouts to both sides. Here's the handoff. Jackson State got some room here, and with the carry for Jackson State is going to be Isaiah Bolden, the redshirt sophomore from Tampa, Florida, transfer from Florida State.
Really nice job of being able to pull the guard as well as those offensive linemen, get them out front, and you get those big boys out front. That opens up that run lane for the running back.
Man in motion now for Jackson State, and that's Baldwin. Here's Jones rolling out, looking. He takes off with the football, 15-10, inside the 10-yard line, down to about the 6. And that will be enough to get a good grip here on things offensively, pushing Edward Waters back.
When you see his athletics, the athlete that he is, being able to get to the edge and just, hey, look, I'm going to run it. I don't have to throw this football. I can run it and pick up this first down.
First and goal for Jackson State. Here's the give. And it's going to be a touchdown, Jackson State University. And on the carry for Jackson State is number 10, Warren Newman, the redshirt senior from New Orleans.
Nice little pop pass there from the quarterback, and Newman just does a nice job of being able to break a tackle. He's able to cut inside, and there's a couple guys that get maybe 1 or 2 hands on him, but he's able to just cut inside right away and be able to score.
Extra point try coming up here for Jackson State, 6-0 here, as Warren Newman will now go down to the record books as having scored the first touchdown in the Deion Sanders era, and the extra point is good. Timeout on the field. With the score, Jackson State University taking an early 7-0 lead over Edward Waters here in the first quarter. Nice play set up here to number 10, Warren Newman, getting the touchdown. Jackson State University on the board first as a great touchdown from, of course, quarterback to Warren Newman. Little toss pass, and that's what you need right away. You need something that's going to give you confidence. You need something that says, hey, we can execute the offense.
Well, you saw with that first drive. I mean, they got the ball on the plus side of the field at the 40-yard line. There was some easy throws, some good runs. Got a lot of different guys involved as far as offense is concerned. You saw Jalen Jones be able to run the football twice. One was a design quarterback run. The other one, he got out on the edge, didn't like what he saw as far as throwing the football. He decided to tuck it, and I mean, I thought that was pretty good for them on that first drive.
And something that Coach Sanders talked about, he said that we're going to challenge these quarterbacks. Nothing is guaranteed, and Jalen Jones showing he can run the offense on that first drive. Here's the kickoff coming down to Edward Waters, and it'll be at the 11, out to the 15, out to the 20, to the 25, out near the 30-yard line. A great return there by Darian Staten, the freshman from Madison, Florida. So it'll be first down and 10 for Edward Waters. And, coming out in this series, if you're Edward Waters, you do not want to go 3 and out and then give Jackson State the ball on the short field.
Well, you definitely don't want to give them a short field. And I think when you look at it as far as an offense is concerned, they had some opportunities there as far as those first couple of plays. You just got to complete the football.
And now they're going with a 5-receiver set to start things off in this particular series. Stevens in motion. And here's a give to Stevens. Gets across the 30 and he stood up at about the 31-yard line. That was a tough run by Stevens. He bounced off a couple of tacklers, but able to get about 2 yards on the play.
Split zone as far as run is concerned for Edward Waters there, and a lot of penetration, and Stevens does a nice job of being able to break 2 tackles there. Jackson State has to wrap up as far as to be able to tackle and bring down the running back. Edward Waters still having a lot of trouble getting lined up.
2nd down and 7 now for Edward Waters. Ball resting at the 32-yard line, 10:53 remaining here in this first quarter of play. And boy, they are using all the time off of that play clock. Handoff once again to the running back, and boy, he goes nowhere this time. Stevens once again trying to get something and get up the field, and nothing doing. They lose what they gain, and it's now going to be 3rd down and 10.
On the previous play, you saw the penetration by Jackson State, and they're able to get it again. Edward Waters tries to pull that center and the guard, and there's just too much penetration. You talk about being able to pull those guys up front, reestablish that line of scrimmage, and they're just not able to do it.
It's just about speed up front, it seems like.
It's definitely about speed, no doubt about it. The success that they had, it was running straight at them. When you try to pull those guards, that's tough.
And now Branch will go back to pass here on 3rd down, incomplete. And that pass was intended for Tiberius Horn, the wide receiver from Miami. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Did a pretty good job up front as far as blocking them. Jackson State tried to run some twists inside, but the quarterback, he's just off as far as connecting with the receiver. That ball is behind them all the way, and Jackson State do a nice job of being able to cover it. So you talk about 2 possessions, 2 3 and outs, and now we'll see if they're able to punt this football and at least make Jackson State try to drive more than 40 yards the length of the field.
Angel Severe on to kick for Edward Waters, and this is a rugby-style kicking team. Gets a good one away, and coming down with the football was Newman, and he's tackled at about the 44-yard line, and so it'll be 1st down and 10 for Jackson State when Jackson comes out on the field for offense. And, we talked to the coaching staff from Edward Waters about special teams, and one of the things that they discussed was, during the practices they were doing extremely well. They were getting the ball away, they were getting a lot of yardage, but the real game situation, I think, is what's making the difference.
Well, I think it makes the difference, and then obviously I think just the win affected them really on that first punt, and that second punt wasn't a bad one, but Jackson State has outstanding field position when you look at where they're starting at on their second drive of this game.
1st down and 10. Jalen Jones gives the handoff, goes over the right side, and a gain of about 4 or 5 yards on the play. And on the carry for Jackson State University is going to be Clark. He is the sophomore from Ocala, Florida. 9:30 remaining here in this first quarter of play. Jackson having the early 7-0 lead, and here's a little swing pass out to the far side, and a gain of about 3 or 4 yards. Great defense on the opposite side. And it's completed out to Newman, and Newman is hit right at the point where he was trying to gain some speed, but it's going to be 3rd down and about 3 now for Jackson State. Very manageable here. 3 receivers set now for Jackson State, and now Jones will look over to the sideline, and they'll change things up just a little bit. Jones gets the snap. Here's the give. It'll be 1st down for Jackson State University. Great carry over the right side to Kamani Clark, the sophomore.
Power play there by Jackson State. They're able to get some movement on the right side of the football, on the right side of that line. And a nice job by Clark getting his pads down.
And quickly to the line, Kamani Clark once again across the 40. Nice job keeping those legs going, and he gets to about the 38-yard line. And it'll be 2nd down and short here for Jackson State.
Same play. I mean, They ran the same power play, and you're still picking up positive yards.
2nd and 5, they'll call it. Trips to the far side, and once again, Kamani Clark with the ball. He gets it across the 35 to about the 30-yard line, and that'll be a 1st down for Jackson State.
Edward Waters has a player that's down right now, and that offensive line is winning up front for Jackson State. They're able, whether it's zone blocking, as you see right there, nice job with the double teams, or the power play, moving some of those. You talk about being able to pull the guards in the center, or even the tackle in some of those runs, and Jackson State is winning up front in this football game so far.
Jaron Wilson, the defensive lineman from Jacksonville, was the injured player for Edward Waters.
Talking to Coach Sanders earlier during the week, he talked about them being able to lean on that offensive line just because he felt like that was a strength for them offensively. You know, you kind of didn't know what you would get out of Jalen Jones as far as up and down play, but he felt like they could run the football. They did have a lot of confidence in that offensive line, and so far these first two drives, you see it.
Yeah, you got a few juniors up there with Tony Gray and Jalen Jones, the redshirt junior, and Jacob Cunningham, all juniors on that line. Now a three-receiver set for Jackson State. Here's a pass by Jalen Jones, going deep, trying to find the open receiver. Incomplete. Warren Newman had the defender beat, but the pass was thrown over his head just a little bit, and that will bring up second down for Jackson State.
Well, when you're able to run the football, then that means you can do a little bit of play action, and that's what you had. And he tried to hit the receiver there on that post route, and you know, if he could probably get that football up towards the middle of the field as far as the inside post, he may have a completion.
Little pressure shown by Edward Waters and a little swing pass out to the opposite side. Jackson State's got some room all the way inside the 10-yard line to about the 5. And a great play and pickup by Dalen Baldwin.
Same play that they ran early in the first drive. I mean, they just come right back to it, and this is just off some different action. But, you know, this is an easy throw for Jones to be able to get it to one of your playmakers. He's able to get up that sideline, and, you know, you're back in that in the red zone on the plus side inside the 10-yard line for the Tigers.
First and goal now for Jackson State University. Jalen Jones in the shotgun. And, boy, nothing doing here on this play for Jackson State.
They fumbled a handoff.
Yeah, nothing doing.
Yeah, Jalen Jones, he and the running back right there, they fumbled a handoff, and he's going to come off the field. But, yeah, they're fortunate there that they're able to recover that muff handoff.
And that's something that Coach Prime talked about, is that turnover battle. You don't want to have any of those turnovers. And, once again, single receivers to both sides now for Jackson State. Jalen Jones.
See Edward Waters showing a little pressure there. They did it the previous play, and they're showing some pressure here, and you see Jackson State change their play.
Jalen Jones handing the ball off once again out wide, and nothing doing for Jackson State there. Great defense by Edward Waters. And Kamani Clark once again on the carry, but this time not able to break free. And Edward Waters, those particular two plays, they're really playing well on defense.
Well, they're showing pressure. Previously, they were kind of just sitting back, you know, in that base 3-4 or 4-3 look, and now they've decided to kind of walk those linebackers up into the A and the B gap, and I don't know, it frustrated Jackson State. At least those couple of plays. We'll see what they do here.
Baldwin in motion now for Jackson State, and all kinds of flags. It'll be a false start against Jackson State.
And they were trying to pull some of those guards in there, and they got a little antsy. So Jackson State gets in the red zone here, and you have the muff handoff between the quarterback and the running back, and here have a false start, and you know that's something that Coach Saunders is not going to be happy about. You know, you were driving the football, and now you get in the red zone, you kind of hurt yourself a little bit.
Jacob Cunningham called for the false start against Jackson State, and now brings up third down and goal here for Jackson. Warren Newman in motion. Here's Jalen Jones back to pass. Little screen set up on the near side, and that's going to be Clark. He gets all the way down inside the 10-yard line to about the 6, and that'll bring up fourth down for Jackson.
They're going to bring out the kicking team. That's really a nice job of setting up that screen. We've seen them throw so many bubble screens, and they faked it to the right. They come back to the traditional screen to the running back on the left side. And, you know, if they hadn't had some of those mistakes earlier, that play would have scored. But they're so far back. They do a nice job of being able to pick up about 10 or 12 yards to at least give them an easy chip shot for the field goal kicker.
Paxton Branning on for a 23-yard field goal attempt. The hold is down, the kick is up, and it is good. So Jackson State now takes a 10-0 lead over Edward Waters here in the first quarter. We'll take this time out. We'll be right back with ESPN College Football. Jackson State now on top 10-0, and of course now on the sideline getting a little tutelage from the offensive staff.
Yeah, that's O-line coach, and he was really being able to talk about some of the mistakes that they made really down there in the red zone. You saw on those first two possessions, they were able to move the football, and I really thought that they had a lot of success running inside. It was just you have the false start down there, and then you saw Edward Waters start to walk some of their safeties into those A and B gaps, and that's where they had some of the problems. And so if you're Edward Waters, that's a win for you. You know, you hope that your offense can get at least one first down. They don't have a first down so far in this game.
Mike Markuson, who brings a lot of experience. And, you know, when you talk about the experience of this team, Coach Prime talked about just how many years of experience that these coaches really have, not only, of course, college and high school, but also professional as well. And, of course, it's going to be a fair catch. And Edward Waters will take over here, first down and 10. And, talking with Coach, he is very candid. Sometimes, bad days happen, sometimes good days happen, but he is extremely candid and transparent.
He is definitely transparent and candid. One of the things that he talked about really was just being able to set the tone and let his guys know, hey, look, this is a new day for us. This is a new day for us as far as the expectation, not only on the field, but in the classroom as well. And so when we called him, he's always going to be open and honest, and he was definitely open and honest, and we'll hopefully get to share a little bit with you some of the things that he was able to tell us throughout this broadcast.
First down and 10, Rashard Branch in the shotgun. Here is the give once again to the running back, and that's Stevens. And Stevens gets a couple of yards here on first down. Second down and 8 now for Edward Waters, and Edward Waters out of the NAIA. And when we talk to Coach Ruffin, they're making some really big moves down there in Jacksonville.
Right now they got an offensive lineman that's kind of banged up. They're going to bring in another lineman. It's a little slow to get up there. They've got about 12 seconds on the play clock, so they should be fine there. And right now Edward Waters, has their eyes set on being able to move up to Division II.
And that's Tyquan Cooper, the guard, coming out, and it's incomplete. The pass was intended for Samuel Thompson, and that will bring up third down.
With that move up to Division II, you talk to you look at this football team and you just see all of the talent that they have from Florida, up to 44 new players on this roster this year. And, they're trying to change their culture as far as who they are and what they want to be, not only in the NAIA, but, as they set their eyes on making that leap to the Division II level.
And this will bring up third down and about 8 yards to go. Pass is complete out to about the 30-yard line. Let's see where the official gives them forward progress at. They'll give him right to about the 30, and that's Samuel Thompson, the junior. And it'll bring up fourth down, and Edward Waters will once again kick.
And the offensive line has been able to protect them as far as the quarterback is concerned. You look at Rashard Branch and some of the things that they've been able to do. That's just their first completion, And so you talk about being able to get this game to the third quarter, or at least the fourth quarter, with it being close. So far, your offense has to help you out a little bit more. They're still short on the punt unit. We've seen them have to kind of run guys out there 3 or 4 times, and they're going to be able to get this punt off, but they've got to get some personnel issues sorted out.
Sevier will kick, and Newman is back for Jackson State. This one hangs high in the air. Wow, and what a hit! Christopher Hampton, the freshman, laying the lumber, and Jackson State will have first down, but what a hit. Trying to send a message.
Newman better use that fair catch there. I mean, that's way too close, way too dangerous.
We'll take this time out. Jackson State with the football. Jackson State getting ready to take over, first down and 10, but Newman nearly made a cardinal sin when you're talking about returning kicks.
Well, that punt hung up in the air just a long time, and it allowed that gunner to be able to get down there and make that tackle. And that's one where, it's a split-second decision, but you've got to be able to see that and feel that. And, that's one where you just want to fair catch that football.
Cameron Thomas on the big hit for Edward Waters. It's first down and 10. Jalen Jones with the ball. And now, I'll tell you what, just a lot of changing directions by the running back on that play. And Clark gets to about the 39-yard line. That's where the official is standing, and so it'll be second down and 9. But Clark he ran a lot, got hit a lot, and didn't really get anything.
Well, that one, he's just got to be able to commit it. He sees it, go ahead and commit to it. I thought the offensive line, maybe not a lot of running room for you there, but you probably could have got outside on that particular play.
2 receivers to the near side for Jackson State now. Here's Jones with the give once again. This is going to be Clark. And Clark gets out of bounds after getting to about the 45-yard line, and it'll be third down and about 3 for Jackson State.
A little zone play there by Jackson State, and Clark sees it. Probably could have gotten inside. He decided to bounce it there a little bit outside. He's able to pick up about 6 or 7 yards there. But that offensive line, we saw Coach Mike talking to him earlier, and just trying to reestablish what they do up front as far as being a physical unit.
Now under center, Jalen Jones with the ball, and he will hand it off once again to Clark, and he gets across the 45 to about the 48-yard line, and it's enough for a Jackson State first down.
Jackson State, they go up under center to be able to pick up this first down, and same zone run, and just leaning on those big guys up front to be able to get some movement for them. Nice job with the double team, being able to push up to that linebacker by the left guard there, and they're able to pick up the first down.
Now Jones back in the shotgun for Jackson State here on first down and 10. 1:08 remaining here in the first quarter of play. Jones back to pass, and it's complete. And this time he gets it out to the near side. It's going to be Robert Washington Jr., the tight end from Jackson, Mississippi. Went to Wingfield High School.
Washington just runs an out route, cleared out by the receiver. He's able to be on time with that throw as far as the quarterback is concerned.
Second down and 5 now for Jackson State. Wingfield, tight end in motion. And here is the give to the running back across the 45 down to about the 41-yard line. And, boy, I'll tell you what, the running game for Jackson State, the guys are just getting behind those buffet busters and just going up the field.
It's movement. They're reestablishing the offensive as far as the line of scrimmage, and that offensive line, they've had 1 or 2 mistakes, but they've been on point so far this first quarter.
Give once again across the 40. And that's Greg Williams, the 5'9" redshirt sophomore from Memphis, getting the carry.
Jackson State pulls that right guard, and he's able to still be able to bounce that football play there. He's able to get to the edge, and you can see the clock is going to expire. But that offensive line is just moving.
Oh, man.
Moving that defensive line. You can see they're tired after one quarter right there, and they've got to get some help from their offense. So far they haven't been able to pick up a first down. The Tigers are dominating as far as the line of scrimmage as well as the time of possession.
Well, the first quarter in the Coach Prime era is in the books, and Jackson State is on top 10-0 here in the capital city. The world-famous Jay Setz entertaining the crowd here in Jackson, Mississippi. Of course, part of the entourage of the Sonic Boom of the South. And there's Coach Prime, and he talked about how he can't wait to have all of that married together. And when this whole pandemic gets over with, he wants to have so much of that culture just really being involved here. You could just tell he's just ready to explode. First down and 10, Jalen Jones, nice pass, complete to the tight end. And he's carrying a couple of defenders with him. And, man, what a big play. Kylan Ritchie, the senior from Cedar Hill, Texas, on the catch and the run.
Well, nice throw on time by the quarterback again. You cleared out with the receivers. The tight end is just running an out for you, and he's able to break some tackles there, being physical as a runner.
First down and 10 for Jackson State, and once again they're going out wide, and this is Clark, and he gets inside the 10-yard line down to about the 8-yard line, and it'll be another first down here for Jackson State. First and goal.
Clark's able to bounce this football here, and he's just able to challenge the corner there that's supposed to be able to have the force guy make that tackle, and he can't do it, and picks up about 8 or 9 yards, 10 yards there to put them back inside the red zone, and looks like Edward Waters is going to call another timeout.
And I think more personnel issues here if you're Edward Waters. And, you know, this could be frustrating if you're Edward Waters. And we talked about this and how it's going to be important for everybody to know their job.
Well, not only know their job, you know, really for them, you have a new defensive coordinator that steps into the fold for them and just really trying to and establish a new culture for them as far as defense is concerned. You know, they felt like last year they were able to move the football, but it was just on the defensive side of the football where they just had a lot of their struggles and problems. And, you know, last time they were able to get them in the red zone inside the 10-yard line, they forced a field goal. And, you know, we don't know if that's going to happen here. Jackson State has been able to drive this football up and down the field really on their first 3 possessions, and, you know, it would definitely help them. But, you know, that offensive line for Jackson State has just been able to move people up front.
You know, we're going to rename them the Earth Movers. Man, they are really moving some earth there underneath that Edward Waters defensive line. Jones now in the shotgun. Once again, he gives it to Clark. Clark gets across the 5-yard line. Touchdown, Jackson State.
Just too easy. I mean, this is nice job, great job up front, but I mean that's just too easy. I mean, you're talking about you're about 4 to 5 yards down the field before any defender touches you, and it looks like Edward Waters had some movement as far as defensive line was concerned. And Jackson State, I mean, the running back just does an outstanding job of just reading it and cutting right off the right tackle. He's able to break a couple tackles. He's in the end zone.
The Earth Movers making a statement here for Jackson State. Here's the extra point try. It's up. It is good. 17-0 now the score after this touchdown run by Clark. Jackson State dominating up front. And Edward Waters needs to help out. Offense is coming up on the field. Welcome back to SWAC Football, presented by USAA on ESPN. And, of course, that's Greg Ruffin, the head coach of Edward Waters. And remember, the program has only been back for 20 years after it was dropped in 1966. And so this program is being reestablished.
Yeah, definitely trying to reestablish this program. And, you know, just talking to Coach Ruffin, you know, with them having so much talent in Florida, they want to be kind of the jewel of Florida when you talk about HBCU football. And they are, you know, there are 2 other HBCUs in Florida, but I mean they are. When you talk about Jacksonville, they have a nice area. They can recruit the state of Florida.
Absolutely. Here is the return, and nothing doing here for Edward Waters, and trying to gain some room was Darian Staten, and he was tackled right at about the 10-yard line. They'll give him to about the 14, and it'll be first down and 10 for Edward Waters, and man, they are deep in their own territory.
Well, the previous return, they were able to get it at the 25 because they were able to fair catch that football. At that time, it hit the ground. They didn't have a choice but to return it. And, you know, if that football hit the ground, that's normally trouble for you, and that's what happened for them. And they've been backed up all 3 possessions that they've had. You know, we're still waiting on them. You go into the second quarter, you're still waiting on your first down. And
yep.
Hopefully they can get something going offensively for themselves.
Yeah, in the first quarter, Jackson State 10 first downs, Edward Waters none. They had 4 rushes for 5 yards. And here's a swing pass to the outside. Nice little pickup on first down. And out there getting the pass was Elisha Amy, the wide receiver from Columbus, Georgia.
Nice, easy throw for the quarterback to try to get him some rhythm, get that offense some rhythm. You want to give that defense a break, really, as well. And so that's a nice, easy throw for the quarterback. Pick up some positive yards. A lot of the success, or any success that they've had moving the football via the run, has been up the middle. And right now they're having more issues trying to get lined up, and burnt 1 timeout already because of that.
Second down and 5, and you can see a little frustration with some of the receivers on the formation. Back to pass, and this one's just going deep and out of bounds. And I tell you what, Branch he was just trying to get rid of it. There was so much pressure.
There was a lot of penetration up the middle, and you talk about trying to run off of play action look, but you haven't run the football really enough where you're gonna trick that defense, and so they're able to come after it, and there the quarterback just tries to throw it up, and the receiver really wasn't expecting that football. Fortunate it wasn't an interception, but they do have another opportunity at least to try to convert this third down.
Khalil Arrington putting more pressure on than a crock pot as he was back there going to the quarterback. Little stunt going on. Branch now back to pass. More pressure. Nice little pass. It'll be a first down for Edward Waters. And it's a first down. Great reception.
Set up the screen right there, and Jackson State has been able to get pressure on the previous play. That Water sets up the screen, and they do a nice job. You don't get any of the offensive linemen out front, but that's okay. You got one looks like one guard was able to get out front, but I mean that's just a nice completion, nice screen pass. Jackson State showed some pressure in the A gap, but they ended up not coming. But Edward Waters picks up their first down of the game.
Deshaun Hughey with the reception, and now Edward Waters out to the 29-yard line. Here is the give. And Hughey going nowhere.
Try to run a little split zone action there. Have the tight end coming over to be able to cut off that defensive end, and you just don't have any movement up front.
Khalil Harrington with the tackle, and that'll bring up second down and about 8 yards to go. And well, I'm telling you, they are just putting on so much pressure, and they're just running into just a wall of red.
If I'm Edward Waters, I go back to the little bubble screen.
Second down and 8 now for Edward Waters. 11:58 remaining here in the first half. Branch, screen. Doesn't get a lot, but some positive yardage. Elisha Amy, the wide receiver from Columbus, the freshman, on the catch.
Santori, when you only have one first down, anything positive for you,
yeah,
you'll definitely take it. Not a lot of yardage, but you'll definitely take it.
Third down and about 4 here. Make it 3rd and 5 for Edward Waters. Branch back to pass, looking, and he's nearly hit. The ball goes sailing. A flag is on the field.
It's normally an area of holding. It may be even a chop block. I don't know if the defensive lineman was engaged.
Branch was just leveled on that play. Let's see if we can find out who
it's a chop block by the offensive line, number 54. So Jackson State is going to decline it.
55 and number 52. The penalty will be declined. 4th down.
And it'll be 4th down here for Edward Waters. They'll kick the ball away. Well, you didn't get what you wanted to, but at least the offense was on the field for a little bit.
A little bit longer. I mean, and at some point, if you're Edward Waters, if it's closer, you kind of think about going for it. I mean, but right here, you're 6 yards away from a first down, 5 yards away from a first down, and you're still backed up on your side of the football. You can't even chance going for it at this point. I mean, but you've got to be able to help your defense a little bit.
Warren Newman, a speedster, standing at his own 33-yard line. We've already seen it. He has some wheels.
Able to score on that pop pass earlier.
Here's the kick, and it hangs up in the air. Newman gets it at about the 37, 40, 45. Out into Edward Waters territory, but a flag at the 41-yard line of Jackson, and it could all be coming back.
Yeah, I think you got 3 flags, really. I don't think Edward Waters had enough men on the line of scrimmage originally, and so we know that the other 2 flags is probably going to be a block in the back, and so this may be offsetting penalties. If I'm Jackson State, I make them kick it again. Because I don't think Edward Waters had enough guys lined up on the football originally, and then it should be fouls on both teams. If I'm Jackson State, I make them kick it again.
Sevier got that ball way up in the air, and Newman fortunately was able to get away from pressure. And the officials still meeting at about the 40-yard line about what is going to happen here.
Yeah, I think, you have multiple fouls on both teams, and so right now they're still conferencing, talking about it. Should be re-kick.
Yep. And here's a call by the official. I guess he's still trying to get some instruction here.
Yeah, I guess they want to know what Coach Sanders, what he wants to do.
And now they'll meet again at about the 40-yard line.
Well, I mean, they're in spring mode as well. First game for the referees as well.
Now we'll get the call.
By each team. Illegal formation. More than 5 men in the backfield from the offense. During the return, holding. Receiving team, number 32. Those penalties will offset. 4th down.
And it will be an offsetting penalty.
Just like we called it.
Yep. They did all of that meat.
Yeah, had to talk about it a little bit, so they have to reset the football to be able to punt it again. And you talk about one of the toughest things for any football team is the coverage unit having to recover a punt after running down there one time already. We talked about how dynamic Newman was as far as a returner. This is perfect for him because if it's not a great kick, he has the ability to be able to take this punt all the way back.
Well, once again, we'll see what happens. The gunner for Edward Waters has been pretty effective today. End over end punt here. Oh, and Newman is wasted again at the 30-yard line. He tried to take off, and then all of a sudden his head was taken off at the 30.
Second time, great job of coverage by the gunner unit as far as punt coverage for Edward Waters.
We'll take this time out. Jackson State up 17-0 here in the second quarter. And Edward Waters trying to get some things going on offense. They're down 17-0 to Jackson State University. But meanwhile, the defense still on the field. And Jackson State will start things off here. 1st down and 10. Jones will keep the ball. And he picks up about 4 yards on the play.
Busted play. He and the running back, he was expecting the running back to go the other way. He ended up, he tried to fake it to him, and he made the smart decision. Hey, look, I can run this. Let me pick up what I can pick up.
And, you know, he did a great job because he made something out of nothing. There's no doubt about that. 2nd down and about 7 yards to go, they'll call it. They're checking to the sideline. .26 remaining in the half, and all kinds of flags on the field.
False start. I've seen it a couple times from that offensive line, and I don't know if it's just because they're changing the play up front.
61.
You know, those offensive linemen, hey, look, they've been able to move people, but they don't want you to hold them in that stance for so long. They want to get going a little bit there, and so second time we've seen them be called for a false start penalty. The success that Edward Waters has had on defense, it's been when they've walked those linebackers up into the A gap or the B gap, and you know, right now they just have the backers are playing off, trying to get some pressure with that front 4.
Man in motion now for Jackson. Here is Jones.
Send up a screen.
Jones will take off with the football. He's across the 20 to the 25. Takes on a defender, and he's tackled at about the 27, 28-yard line.
Edward Waters did a nice job of being able to pick off that running back there as they tried to set up that screen. And Jones, you know, he shows you that athletic ability. We've seen him be able to do that a couple times. They go fast and line up on the football now here.
Now a 4-receiver set here for Jackson State University here on 3rd down and long, 3rd and 12. I think that's the longest 3rd down that they've had so far in the game.
Yeah.
Jones will back up in the shotgun. Jones fakes the handoff, play action, and he gets it out to the receiver. And that's going to be short of a 1st down. Corey Reed Jr., the redshirt sophomore from Fulton, Georgia, transfer from Louisville, getting the reception. And Jackson State will have to punt. Don't hear that.
Not too often.
No.
Not too often. First time that they have had to punt there, and Coach Sanders, he's talking to the receiver a little bit, and he was just telling them, hey, look, you've got to get to the sticks. When you were coming back to that football, understanding and knowing what we need on that third down. And so it's a learning experience for that receiver as well.
Jackson State will punt for the first time, and this one hangs up in the air. No return on this play. And Jackson State will down it right at about the 29-yard line. And so that's where Jackson State will take over. We'll take this timeout. 17-0, Jackson State on top here at Mississippi Veterans Memorial. The old number 21, coaching on the 21st day of February in 2021, Deion Sanders. And leading these troops out 17-0 so far, and got some great support and relatively calm on the sideline.
Relatively calm so far. I mean, he's over there messing with the tarp on the field, so not only coaching, being a field manager as well.
Branch with the pass. Nice reception by the tight end. And it'll be a first down for Edward Waters. And what is that, the second or third one? That was Quillen Bisbee, the tight end from Jacksonville.
Nice job as far as you see so much in college football, just the read option game. And we saw them on the previous drive run a similar play to that one, and just a nice throw, on time, rhythm with the tight end, quarterback, and hadn't got a lot of first downs, but that's a nice pickup on that first down play there.
First down and 10 for Edward Waters. Linebackers backing up. Branch back to pass. Now he's scrambling, and he will just throw this one away out to one of the trainers.
Yeah, quick passing game has the success that they've had offensively. That's what it's been. When we've seen them try to push the football down the field, hadn't had a lot of luck doing that. You go back to the first play of the game, they try to set up the fake screen to the outside and then go up the field vertical, and they're not able to complete that one in that time as well, trying to go up the field vertical, and not a lot of success.
Jackson State, just all kinds of pressure. 3 receivers set here for Edward Waters. Branch with the handoff. And on the carry for Edward Waters, Spencer Carter, the sophomore from Sarasota.
He's got to be able to get his shoulder pads down.
That will bring up third down and 8 here. We'll make it 3rd and 9 for Edward Waters. Ball resting just outside their own 43-yard line, just inside the 43-yard line. Now a 4 receiver set for Edward Waters. Branch back to pass once again, going deep, trying to test things out, and overshoots the wide receiver. He was trying to get it out to Elisha Ami, the freshman from Columbus, and it was way too far in front of him, and that'll bring up 4th down.
That's one that Branch, he's upset at himself. If he put a little bit of air up under this football, that's completion. I mean, because he had him beat the receiver, probably had him about a step or two, but I mean, you've got to be on time with that pass. And like I said, going vertical, they hadn't had a lot of success at all. Coach Thurman and his defensive guys, they've been outstanding as far as defense is concerned, and they've kind of frustrated the quarterback. They've shown pressure in the A-gap. They've been able just to really rush 4 against Edward Waters.
Once again, the kick by Edward Waters. And it comes down to Warren Newman. He's out to the 20. Takes a step back. And he's tackled at the 20-yard line. Well, he loses all kinds of ground. He's trying to make something out of nothing, and instead he runs about 20 or 30 yards to get nothing.
You try to make some guys miss right there, and they just did a nice job. This is probably the 3rd time we've seen them as far as punt coverage, and everybody just stays in their lane. They do a nice job of being able to take their shots when they have them, and then just be able to rally to the football. And like you said, you probably run about 30 to 40 yards, and you don't get a lot of yardage out of it. And you wonder, just with Coach Sanders and his ability to be, that dynamic return guy. Is that what you're trying to do as well?
And now the Earth Movers back on the field once again. Here's a little pitch to the 25, out near the 29-yard line.
That is to Newman as well, yeah, and that's the play that he scored on earlier, the opening drive, and that's just a pop pass, easy, completion really should go to as far as the running is concerned, but it's just an easy completion for the quarterback.
Clark now in the backfield for Jackson State. 3 receivers to the near side. Newman in motion, and here's a give to Clark across the 30 up to about the 32-yard line, and that's enough for a Jackson State first down.
You can see Jackson State try to get some rhythm. You know, they've had a lot of success going fast. Where they've had negative plays is when that offensive line has moved pre-snap, and there they go back to one of their favorite plays, which is a power play. They pull that guard, get that double team out of the center and the other guard.
Newman once again in motion. Little jet sweep. Newman out across the 30, 35, and the ball is on the ground.
I think he was able to recover it, but the ball definitely was out.
At the 36-yard line. So luckily Newman gets the ball back. He really is a speedster, you can tell, but he's got to be able to play, and I think Coach Sanders talked about this, he has to play with a little bit more discipline.
Well, he's got to play with some discipline, but they're using him. I mean, they're using him a lot. You talk about as far as the punt return, this is the second touch that he's had on this drive. He's just got to take care of the football. He's going to come out of the game.
3 receivers set now for Jackson State. Here is the give across the 40-yard line, and this time with the football, that is going to be Greg Williams. So they did not call the fumble, but it looked like one. And once again, here's Newman, and that ball came out just before he hit the ground. Luckily for Jackson State, they get the football back. And here is Greg Williams again. Gets across the 45-yard line. And he'll be just inside the 46. And that's another first down for Jackson State.
See him being able to just be patient as a runner and be able to pick up that first down. Just showed some nice patience to be able to find that soft spot as far as right behind those offensive linemen. It picks up another first down.
First down and 10 now for Jackson State. 3 receivers set. Jones threw it too wide. Pass was intended for Christian Allen, the wide receiver from Mendenhall, Mississippi.
Got the outside receiver running a go route, inside receiver just running a 5-yard out, and just the timing is off as far as the completion is concerned. Too wide for that receiver.
Well, they talked. Coach Prime talked a lot about running the football in our discussion, and that's exactly what they've been doing. Here's the give once again. And it goes to the sideline and out of bounds. Williams on the carry once again, and a flag on the field at about the 43-yard line.
It's going to be holding on Jackson State as the running back was bouncing. They ended up tackling number 51 there, and I like the running back bouncing the football there, but he's just got to make sure and know in that situation at some point you got to get north and then get Jackson State for a hold here.
Offense, number 85. 10-yard penalty.
And that hold is going to go against Kylan Ritchie, the tight end from Cedar Hill.
Just zone play in there. He's bouncing it outside, and defender goes to try to make that tackle, and you take him down. You got to let him go.
Yep. Second down and 20 now. Swing pass. It's going to be out to Greg Williams. He gets across the 45, midfield. 45-yard line of Edward Waters, and he's near a first down, so he nearly got it all back.
Nice play call, nice play design, being able to get those offensive linemen out front. Williams sets him up, being able to allow that offensive lineman to be able to pick up that extra defender there in front of him as well.
Third down and 1 now after facing a second and 20. Jones under center for Jackson State. Here is the give, and wow, wrapped up. Great defensive play by Tyree Jackson.
Tyree Jackson, he just reads it all the way. It's just a belly, just a give, and he's able to slip that offensive lineman. He's got to cut that off on the backside, and that's a tough block for him, and he just beats that lineman to the spot, and there's nowhere for that running back to go. That's
a rare mistake by one of the earth movers on that side of the field. And I'm sure they'll break that down in film coming up this week.
Yeah, that's a tough cutoff block from where he was as far as lined up, and just couldn't get there.
Punting situation here for Jackson State. And it goes out of bounds.
Should be around the 18, 19 yard. He's giving him the 15-yard line.
And at the 15-yard line, so Edward Waters will get the ball back. 17-0. Jackson on top. 2:43 left in the second quarter. Swag Football on ESPN is presented by USAA, the official military appreciation partner of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. 17-0 our score. Santoria Black along with Deuce McAllister. And, of course, the Edward Waters now with the football, and just got a visit from Paul Bryant, Dr. Paul Bryant, the athletic director at Edward Waters, and this is incomplete. And, man, you can tell the player there just really upset at himself.
He's got to look it in. He's trying to run before he caught the football, and, that's just a little bubble pass, and that was a play that, the short passing game is the only thing that they've had a lot of success doing as far as offensively is concerned. He's going to come out of the game, but he's just got to look the football in, and, if you're at Waters, you want to be able to drain this clock as much as possible. You've only gotten a couple first downs in this first half, but, with 2:40 left in this game, you want to be able to try to milk this clock as much as possible. And
Elisha Amy with the missed reception, and on the carry, Deshaun Huggy, the running back from Palm Coast, Florida, and already you hear the chimes. It's third down already for Edward Waters.
That's what I was about to say, and you look at it, it's been tough sledding for this offense. Coach Thurman and those guys, they've done a really nice job, but particularly when you're talking about pushing the football down the field, they hadn't had a lot of success in doing so. And Edward Waters right now, they're milking that play clock, and if I'm Edward Waters, I probably call a timeout here with about 1 or 2 seconds on it. They're gonna snap the football, but I'm trying to leave as less time as possible on the clock.
Here's a snap and a long pass down the field. Branch looking for the receiver way out in front. He was trying to find Tiberius Horn, and it's fourth down, and punting team comes on the field for Edward Waters, and a minute 51 left, and now the Earth Movers come on the field for Jackson State, and the defense, boy, they're already tired because of what's been going on. They've just been pounding the football. Jackson State running, and just a combination of things on offense.
Yeah, well, and you talk about Branch as far as the quarterback there. He's got an over route, and then he's got a post route, and it's just too much congestion, and it's almost like he's just throwing it up, hoping that I get it to that receiver, and that's tough on the offense, particularly that hadn't had a lot of success this first half.
Fourth down and 9. Punting team on the field.
Delay a game.
Delay a game.
Yep, delay a game.
5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
The bad news with this, Deuce, is that type of penalty, you could give Jackson State the ball in very good field position.
Well, I mean, where were you punting from? It was going to be good field position. Right now, the returner sits at the 50, and, it's been kind of hit or miss with what he's done. You want him just to catch it, and your offense is in great position.
Here's the kick, and this one more of a line drive. Newman gets it at about the 46, out to the 40, 35, 30, and he's going to be wrapped up at about the 30-yard line, tackled by Deontay Hale. And the special teams from Edward Waters a little pumped up as they come off the field, but Jackson State is going to be at the 29-yard line, 30-yard line to start things off with about a minute and 41 remaining in this first half of play.
He's pumped up. He's lucky he didn't get a kind of a taunting. I mean, that was a big-time hit right there on the sideline, and the ref showed some restraint by not throwing the penalty flag on him. But, I mean, that defense – you talking about need a hero effort. That's definitely what they're going to need.
5 receivers set for Jackson. Jalen Jones looking, little inside pass in the seam. That's going to be close to a first down for Jackson State.
Well, Jackson State's in an empty formation, and that's an easy read for him. The linebacker doesn't get outside, and it's the same thing. He'll have that same look again on the opposite side. Safety at least walks down a little closer this time.
Kylan Ritchie with the pass, and here is the pass up. Nope, it's going to be a pass interference, though.
Never got his head around. The defender, it's just a jump ball, and defender never got his head around to be able to locate the football, and you got two officials that saw it, so you get another pass interference call.
Dalen Baldwin was the intended receiver, and he was held, mugged, tackled, and everything else. And that penalty is going to be on Cameron Thomas.
Coach Ruffin is letting the closest official have it a little bit. I mean, that defender, he's just got to be able to get his head around to be able to at least challenge for the football, and that makes it tough on this defense.
Well, it goes down to the 6-yard line, so Edward Waters' defense is backed up. Newman in motion. Here is Jones once again, and he'll take off with the football, gets across the 10, he gets to the 5, puts his head down and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Jackson State. Great play by Jalen Jones. And, look, this is one of the things that Coach Sanders talked about is you got to make sure that you have good play and the quarterback stepping up to the call, and he's been doing it today.
Well, there, he just being an athlete, I thought he could have got the initial throw to the outside, but he felt like that he had a little bit pressure in his face in the pocket, so he tucks the football, and he's physical right there about the 2 to 3 yard line where he runs over a defender, and he's able to get in the end zone.
And there was some good blocking there by the wide receiver, Corey Reed. Here's the extra point try. It's up. It's good. 24-0. Jackson State on top of Edward Waters with 1:07 remaining here in this first half of play.
It's a really nice job. You get the football right there on the 30-yard line from the big return from your returner. You get to delay a game on that punt to be able to. He caught it right at the 50-yard line. He's able to return it for about 20 yards, and so that's prime position for that offense. They've been able to move the football. They go to an empty set. They're able to hit really an uncovered guy in the slot. They flip the formation, come back. You throw the football up for really a go route. The defender, he doesn't get his head around as far as the pass is concerned, so you get a pass interference. Next play call, you probably could have hit the receiver in the flat. Quarterback tucks it. He runs for the touchdown, and started with 1:41 on the clock, and still have 1:07 left once that score. The football is run into the end zone, and so really Jackson State, depending on what they do this first possession here, they still have 3 timeouts. And so they can be really aggressive and try to get the football back right here before the half again.
Well, if you're Edward Waters, the thing is you're rebuilding a culture. You've only been back in football for 20 years. And when you start looking at things, they've got a new stadium now, seats 5,000. So, really they just need to stay encouraged because they've got a long way to go. Here is the return by Edward Waters. And on the return, a big return here. And a fumble on the play. That was Javen Davis on the return. And Jackson State on special teams gets the ball back. And collecting the fumble, Justin Reagan, the defensive lineman from Memphis, Tennessee.
And then the penalty is going to be a blindside block against Edward Waters, and that's just a big-time play, big-time hit on the sideline. And Jackson State is able to recover the fumble, but that was a blindside block. That's what the penalty is for against Edward Waters. So you'll have an additional yardage that Jackson State will be able to pick up. And, like I said, we talked about them maybe still in the possession. I at least thought that the offense would be able to come out on the field for Edward Waters, but they don't take care of the football right there on the sideline. And so Jackson State will not only get the football back, they're going to get additional yardage for this blindside block
During the return,
the ref will tell us about.
Personal foul, blindside block, number 38 of the receiving team. This penalty will be fine. Results of the play, Jackson State recovered it. First down.
Amon Jefferson, the defensive end on special teams from Bradford, Florida, was called for that blindside block. And, I tell you what, when you look at that play, Javen Davis did a great job getting around the edge. He had a great return going. And there you go, you lost the ball. And right there, Johnny on the spot. Justin Reagan gets the ball. And now the Jackson State Tigers get to come back out on offense, and the defense was just on the field.
Yeah, defense was just on the field. I mean, you talk about just being able to say, hey, look, let's see if we can get out of this first half with the score being no more than what it is. And now that defense has to come back out on the field.
And they are reviewing the play, and not the homecoming that I'm sure Coach Greg Ruffin wanted to have. Of course, he spent 6 seasons here at Jackson State University under head coach Rick Comegy. He came with Coach Comegy after leaving Tuskegee. He was there for a year and was able to win a SWAC championship, and then, of course, he was a runner-up for the championship. There you see Coach Prime. He wants to get a SWAC championship ring on his finger and knows he's got a lot of work to do. But what was really funny last night when we were talking to him, is the fact that he says, I got to see if we got enough, polos and wear for everybody, the coaches, make sure that the logo's on side. So he is involved in everything right now.
Well, he's definitely involved in everything. I know they had some turnover in the, an equipment side, so he's kind of, worried about that. And, this play is being reviewed. I guess it's the targeting rule is what they want to make sure that it was not as far as, and that's why we have the stoppage in play. And, the other thing, I guess, when you look at this, they haven't advanced the football.
Yep.
That was what Coach Ruffin was talking about on the sideline, that that foul occurred before the turnover. And so, you talked about Coach Prime. We saw him down there on the field earlier messing with the tarp to make sure that the tarp stayed down on the field. He was worried about our coaches. Do we have enough polos for them? You look at the equipment. We talked about them changing the uniform, leaving Nike, going to Under Armour. Do we have enough decals for a helmet? And so, he's involved in every aspect of this program and just trying to restore some of the pride back.
And they're still discussing if that was a targeting foul or not, as the officials will make the call here.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Jackson State recovered the ball. It will be first down and 10 on the 44-yard line.
Jackson State did recover the football, and they will get the ball back here with 55 seconds and a complimentary of 3 timeouts remaining.
Complimentary of 3 timeouts remaining. We saw them go empty earlier as far as 3 receivers on one side, 2 on the other. It looks like that's what they're going to do here. Earlier, the linebacker didn't walk out. The safety kind of stayed back, and you look at the quarterback, Jalen Jones. He took the easy throw as far as inside. Right now, at least Edward Waters is covering that initially.
Here's Jones. He gets it out to Newman across the 40, 35, and he's cut down at about the 33-yard line, and that's a first down for Jackson State.
That time, Newman was the uncovered player for Jackson State in the slot.
Newman wants to be that guy, that kind of a player, and he's really stepping up today. Here is Jones. Back to pass, and he's going out scrambling 35-30, and he's out of bounds. Stops the clock once again. And it's going to be another first down.
Should be enough for a first down.
Gets the first down to about the 21-yard line.
He had Newman on the go route there. I know he tucked the football, and, you're not going to argue with a first down run, but he had Newman again on the go route.
4 receivers now for Jackson State. And we got whistles.
Timeout by Edward Waters. That's their last one of the first half.
Timeout, Edward Waters.
Timeout, Edward Waters.
That's their third and final timeout.
36 seconds remaining.
This will also be a 30-second
first
timeout.
Half of play. And Jackson State out top comfortably, 24-0, and trying to go in and get another score before halftime.
I think Jackson State, when you look at it, being able to get the football to the playmakers, this is also a time for them. They've had some success running some of that screen game, whether they're throwing it to the outside of to the running back or just a traditional screen. You can do some of that. Edward Waters, one of the things that, you talk about from a defensive standpoint is maybe walking those safeties out a little bit. They're trying to play with at least the 2 deep safeties as far as back, but those linebackers got to make sure that they're bumping out and covering some of those slot guys. Coach Ruffin is still giving it to those referees. He's not happy about something.
Yeah, he has been in that official's ear over on that sideline for a good minute. And you got somebody open deep.
Mm-hmm.
Here is Jones back to pass. Now he'll scramble out to his left. Little swing pass to the 20, 15, out to the 10-yard line. And on the reception is Newman once again. And they quickly will get back towards the line. 27 seconds remaining. First down, and it will be 10. Was it first down and goal or first and 10 here?
Should be first and goal.
First and goal.
Jackson State doesn't call a timeout.
Man in motion, and that's Newman. Here is Jones with the pass. Touchdown, Jackson State. Dalen Baldwin with the catch, and it is now 30-0.
Nice throw by Jones, just a back shoulder throw to Baldwin there, and the defender, he was there. He just didn't locate the football, and that ball was just perfectly thrown past. Just a back shoulder throw.
Great patience there by Jones and just getting it right where nobody else could. And, you know, when you looked at Edward Waters, Amy on the other side, trying to stop that particular play, but just wasn't in position to do it.
I mean, particularly with where the location of the football was.
Yeah. Extra point is good. Timeout on the field, 31-0 with 11 seconds remaining. And we just talked about that. Edward Waters made that mistake, gave them a ball back. Then you had that the penalty, and that gave Jackson more yardage, another score. And, you know, you talked about just getting to halftime and then get to
regroup.
Quarter to regroup.
To be able to regroup. And that's, you know, before that turnover there, that's what you really felt like that they had a chance to do. Hey, look, you know, you just want to be able to get in and get your guys really to not necessarily calm down, but just to say, hey, look, guys, let's settle down. Let's settle down. Let's go out there and play like the Tigers that we believe we want to be, and, you know, we think we are. And Coach Ruffin has talked about, look, this is they have played other teams from the SWAC. You know, this is the fourth year in a row that they have played a SWAC team, and so they know what this level is like, but you've got to be able to at least to produce a little bit offensively, and they just haven't done it enough.
Yep, and of course, you know, with Edward Waters, they're looking to get to the Division II level, and if they can accomplish that and get to the Division II, they'll only be the second school in the state of Florida who is a Division II school. West Florida, I believe, is the only one. And the ball is on the ground again. It looked like that trying to get the football was Kobe Gates, the 6'3" redshirt senior from Walnut Grove, Mississippi. A little bit of a homecoming for him.
And right there, they are able to recover the football once it did hit the ground. It was just a squib kick. It was just a squib kick, and they were finally able to hit the ground, recover the football.
Well, Edward Waters right here, they're just going to kneel down and go in and regroup. And that's exactly what they will do. First half in the books in the prime era. 31-0 Jackson State on top of Edward Waters as these two teams head to the halftime locker room. Well, it's been a doozy. Jackson fans who have been able to attend this game, they are getting their money's worth. And we will take this time out. 31-0 Jackson on top. We'll be right back. SWAC football on ESPN is brought to you by USAA. 31-0 is the score right now. Jackson State University on top of Edward Waters here at halftime. Santoria Black along with Deuce McAllister. And Deuce, you know, nothing much that you can say right now. If you're Jackson, you've really had some great fortune. You've been able to run the football extremely well. The Earth Movers have been absolutely crushing it up front. Defensively been playing well, but let's start with the offense. They've been playing pretty well.
Well, offensively, you know, you talk about, you know, just having some consistency, particularly with your quarterback, and he's been able to get the football to some of those playmakers. They've given him some easy throws to kind of get him in rhythm, but I really think it starts with the running backs and the guys up front. You know, the Earth Movers have done their part. They have moved the front. You know, you can fuss and complain about maybe some of the false starts that they had, but, I mean, for the most part, they have been able, whether it's power, whether it's zone, they have been able to create movement and just really really reestablished the line of scrimmage for Jackson State, and I think that's probably the most impressive part. And that's one of the things that Coach Prime talked about them being able to do, and that they've really done so in this first half.
Absolutely. Now, you look at Edward Waters on the other side, on their offensive side, they just have not been able to move the football. They've had some fortune in running the ball. Short game has been okay from time to time, but they just have not been able to stay on the field.
Yeah, when you talk about being able to move the football, particularly against a team that may have a little bit more talent than you want to be able to hit some explosive plays. They have zero. When you talk about explosive plays, a lot of the yardage that they have from an offensive standpoint have been off of some RPO looks or some short passing game. And, that whole first quarter, they didn't get a first down.
No,
it was really the second quarter where they were able to get a couple first downs. And so, you talk about being able to win on first down, they had a lot of just negative plays. And so that's one thing that they want to be able to try to correct. We talked about early in the game being able to get into the fourth quarter with this game close. 31-0, that's not the case. But I think, Coach Ruffin, some of the things that he can do and talk to his unit, hey, look, guys, let's just go and compete. Let's go out there and compete. Yeah. I think that's one of the things that they have to try to continue to do this second half.
If you are a Jackson State fan right now, when the pandemic, is kind of going away and what have you, this is going to be something else to really behold, because there are quite a few fans here, and they've let limited fans into the stadium because of the restrictions. This is going to be something else when the restrictions are let off.
Well, the Sonic Boom will be jamming, and so normally people come to see the band. I think you're going to have them coming to see this football team. Yeah. I think because overall you have a pretty good team, and I know that they're playing an abbreviated season this spring, but you look at the future going into the fall. I can easily see this place being packed with 65,000 and just rocking and rolling, and Coach Prime down on the sideline leading his Tigers.
31-0 is our score here at halftime. Jackson State University on top of Edward Waters, and you can see right there, it's Jalen Jones with that touchdown pass right before the half, and Jackson State with a commanding lead. We'll be right back. $31-0 our score. Jackson State University on top. And, of course, we want to talk about the legendary coach W.C. Gordon, who passed away back in October of 2020 at the age of 90. And, you think about somebody as legendary as he was. Of course, he's in the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. He is in the College Football Hall of Fame, the Black College Football Hall of Fame, someone who led Jackson State University to at least a share or part of 8 different conference championships, 9 NC2A playoff appearances, and was also a baseball coach here and won the baseball title in the SWAC back in 1972. So someone that was legendary here at Jackson State.
Well, if you followed SWAC football, you knew exactly who he was. And if you followed college football, you knew exactly who it was, just because of, you look at the NFL players that he was able to put in. You look at the college football players that he was able to put in, the College Football Hall of Fame, and just tremendous man, tremendous coach, and what he means to college football, what he means to this program as far as Jackson State is concerned. It's you can't say enough good words about it.
Absolutely, and of course, he's a part of the SWAC Hall of Fame. He was inducted in 1994. And then, of course, I believe this is the W.C. Gordon Classic. This game is named in his honor.
That's exactly right. Normally this game, I think it's Labor Day weekend when traditionally that would have been played. But since we're playing a spring kind of schedule for Jackson, that's what this game is, typically of. And, hopefully this fall they will be able to continue to have this game and this tradition. It's normally a big classic whenever they play this game.
Fans taking in the excitement here at the stadium at Jackson State. We'll take this timeout. 31-0 is our score. Jackson State with the lead at halftime. Back here at halftime, of course, Jackson State on top by the score of 31-0. And let's take a look at some of the halftime stats here. And Deuce, look, there's no shock behind this. This is all about Jackson State. 16 first downs. They've got 265 yards of offense. Edward Waters just 44.
Well, when you look at talk about Jackson State, it's the balance. I mean, it's the balance being able to run the football and really control the clock. You talk about 18 minutes of as far as time of possession, and really the only big negatives that you had with Jackson State are the false starts, and I think that's really where they hurt themselves when you look at it overall. But defensively, only giving up 2 first downs, and Edward Waters, they just got to be able to figure out a way to push the football down the field. They really didn't have any success doing that. It was a quick passing game. You had a little bit of success running the football on a couple of plays, and then you would end up losing some yardage. So, I mean, just total domination by Jackson State.
The halftime stats are brought to you by Cricket Wireless. Smile, you're on Cricket. And, time possession is big and, all of that. But the biggest thing here is they just got to go in and regroup and just try to come out here and take things one play at a time, because you can't get 31. I don't think there's a 31-point play. We'll take this break. When we come back, more here from Mississippi Veterans Memorial Coliseum. 31-0 our score. We'll be right back. Okay, good. All right. SWAC football on ESPN is presented by USAA, the official military appreciation partner of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. By Cricket Wireless, smile, you're on Cricket. And by Pepsi Zero Sugar, the official football sponsor of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. 31-0 is our score. Jackson State University on top as fans are getting ready for the second half here at Mississippi Veterans Memorial Coliseum. And, look, the first half, you look at some of those highlights, it's all about Jackson State.
Yeah, I really think, that they were able to frustrate the quarterback and really what Edward Waters wanted to do. They were able to get pressure really with their front four. They showed blitz a couple of times, but they never really brought those guys. And, Edward Waters just didn't have a lot of success. They were able to get the quarterback, offensively, Jackson State, they were able to get him out outside of the pocket. They were able to get it to Newman, one of the playmakers, get the football in his hands. And then I think it really, we talked about almost 20 minutes in the first half of time of possession. That starts with the offensive line. And so regardless of who was at running back, they were able to move the football.
And then, of course, on special teams, they were able to get a field goal in the first quarter, and that made it 10-0 there. But it's really all about the offense here for Jackson State, and they really have not had a big answer on defense. They've mixed it up so much. They passed to the tight end, they passed to receivers, they've used Newman, they've used Clark. I mean, just so many different people. Here's Clark right here. He was able to get into the end zone for a touchdown. And Edward Waters, you look at them and they've got their head down a little bit, but one of the things that they've got to do, especially here on offense, and we see it on this play, they have got to make sure they get back to the short game. They pick up yardage where they can, and here you see where they can pick up positive yardage.
That was one of the screen passes that they were able to complete, and you talk about being able to read some of the linebacker play, and you have that RPO look, and you're able to get the football to the tight end. But I think that Jackson State, from a talent level, they have more talent, and one of the ways that Edward Waters wanted to be able to control this football was you talk about the short, quick passing game, and that's worked a little bit for him. But you just got to figure out a way to be able to get off the field defensively, as well as be able to convert a little bit on third down.
And you got to hold on to the football there. That was a great return. And then, of course, they had a fumble, and then, of course, Jackson State was able to take that fumble and back shoulder pass, touchdown, and that's where we are now, 31-0, as we get ready for the third quarter of play here in Jackson, Mississippi. And so, that's where you're at right now. And, nothing, if you're Edward Waters, you're still rebuilding this culture. You got a new defensive coordinator. You just got to come out and play tough in the second half.
Ball falls off the tee. I think that's the second time we've seen that. They'll reset the play clock. Jackson State actually had too many guys out on the field, so that allowed them to be able to get one of those returners off the field as we start this second half.
Second half coming up here for Jackson State. And the kick is away. Newman will get it about the 7-yard line. Out to the 20, out to the 25, out to the 30, 40, 45, midfield, and Jackson State will be in prime territory as they will have it first down and 10 at the Edward Waters 47-yard line.
outstanding job up front by that wall, being able just to give him a crease, and right away Jackson State is able to attack Edward Waters. You talk about being able to be dominant on special teams. We talk about the turnover that they had right there before the half, and now they open this third quarter with a big return where Jackson State takes over the football on the plus side of the field. Just like when you open up the game, Jackson State took over the football. I think it was at the 40-yard line.
Josh Little's on the return for Jackson State, and it's 1st down and 10 for the Tigers. As we start the third quarter, great field position, already in Edward Waters territory. Here is the give on 1st down, and that's going to be Clark getting across the 45-yard line. Gets about 3, maybe 4 yards on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
Zone play, offensive line just do it. They've been doing it all game, just knocking those guys off the line of scrimmage.
This time Jones, he'll get it out to the wide receiver, and that's going to be Baldwin. And
that's a fumble.
Fumbled the ball and nearly losing it, and they did recover it. Jackson State's Robert Washington Jr., the tight end, gets the ball back.
Yeah, Edward Waters, this is the third time they've run this play. Edward Waters had a chance. They should have recovered this ball. I mean, they're right there on the football. He's not able to, and he's running. That's probably easier for me to say it, but Jackson State is fortunate there that they're able to recover that football.
And if you're Edward Waters, that was a great play by Derek Nicholson, just popping that ball out. And Jones just will take off with the football and get a few yards on the play, and he'll get enough for a 1st down.
This looks like the script that they had, the script that they had to open up the game. I mean, those are very similar, if not the same plays that they had when they opened up this game in the first quarter.
1st down and 10 now for Jackson State. The ball resting at the 35-yard line. Here in the third quarter. Jones gets it out to Clark. He's across the 30-yard line and gets to about the 26-yard line. And he's near another 1st down, about 1.5 yards shy.
Got an injured Edward Waters Tiger here.
For injury.
Clark is just a sophomore from Ocala, Florida. And we've got an injured Edward Waters player down on the field. Clark, of course, just as we said, just a sophomore, and just getting up for Edward Waters. 99, Quintorio Powell, the defensive lineman from Moundville, Alabama, just a freshman. And, we talked to the coaching staff from Edward Waters, and Coach Ruffin said that this is going to be a heavy dose of a lot of freshmen getting some time, some big-time playing here in this ball game.
Yeah, anytime that you retool a roster and you bring in 44 new players, you're going to be leaning on a lot of the freshmen and sophomores, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Nearly a catch. They did get the catch there. And it's a 1st down for Jackson State. Jalen Jones with a big-time throw and the catch.
Yeah, a little bubble screen there, and Edward Waters is late being able to get over right there to the slot, and Jalen Jones sees it right away, and he's able to get the football to the playmaker, and they're back in the.
Dalen Baldwin on the reception. Here is the carry by Clark.
Face mask.
It's going to be a face mask penalty. About to the 10-yard line is where he gets to, and so with that penalty, we'll get the official word here in just a second.
Yeah, it should be half the distance to the goal line, but, I mean, they're already inside the 10.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense, number 92. Half the distance to the goal. Results of the play, 1st down.
Dadrian James, the freshman from Lakeland, Florida, with the face mask. Yep, there it is right there.
He's trying to fight off of that block, but he tackles the running back high, and he gets his hands inside.
They're going to call that every time. So it'll be 1st down and goal at the 5-yard line. Jackson State on the door knocking, and the Earth Movers are ready to move once again. There's going to be all kinds of movement. So take that 5 yards back.
The center is like, it was on 1st down? That's what the call was? Everybody else is moving. We're waiting on the ball to be snapped.
False start. Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
We'll call that on Deontay Graham.
Could have called it on a couple guys.
Yeah, there's all kinds of movement that was going on. So now first down and goal at the 10-yard line now. Look like movement once again. Here's Clark on the carry. 5, touchdown, Jackson State. That right side of the line had a hole as wide as the Grand Canyon, and he was not touched.
Wasn't touching, and you're exactly right. Edward Waters coaches are livid because they felt like there was movement again on that play, and they don't get the flag. But I mean, when you look at now, there's a penalty. That's on the coach. I mean, that's going to be on the sideline. I mean, but their coaching staff is livid. They felt like that there should have been should be a sideline warning, I guess, but they felt like there should have been another false start penalty.
37-0 is our score.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on Ed Waters on the bench. That penalty being enforced 15 yards on the kickoff.
So it'll be a 15-yard penalty enforced on the kickoff. And
here's what's interesting, though. Jackson State kept their offense out on the field.
Yeah. Got more whistles on the field.
Yeah, well, they want to spot the football. They've spotted it. They're going to reset the play clock. They aren't. So we've got about 10 seconds on the play clock.
And so they'll go for 2 here.
Yeah.
Newman in motion. Here's Jones, back to pass, looking. Incomplete. Well,
got a little extracurricular after the play.
Yeah, a couple of people introducing themselves on the field. And they'll break some things up here.
A little chippy.
They're just introducing themselves, letting them know how you're doing. We're still here. Well, Jones to Clark, getting it into the end zone. Jackson on top 37-0 over Edward Waters here in the third quarter. We'll be right back. Kickoff by Jackson State is fair caught by Edward Waters. And it'll be first down and 10 for the offense for Edward Waters. Here's the SWAC preseason poll presented by Cricket Wireless. Smile, you're on Cricket. And, of course, this was done before Alcorn State opted out of spring football, so that's why you see this. In the Eastern Division, Alcorn was 1 before that happened, Alabama A&M 2, Alabama State Jackson, and then Mississippi Valley on the East. And then the West, Southern, Grambling, Prairie View, Pine Bluff, and Texas Southern.
Yeah, so really, I know the SWAC, the conference, tried to reschedule and shuffle some of those games around, and they weren't able to do it. So technically, with that forfeit, Coach Saunders, prime, he's already 1-0. I mean, just because he gets the forfeit.
Here is the give here on first down for Edward Waters. Over the right side, carry by Darian Staten. Called his name a couple of times this afternoon already, the freshman from Madison, Florida. And it'll be second down and 1, a rare second and short for Edward Waters.
Just a jet sweep, and they do a nice job of being able to get out on the edge. And, we have, like you said, we haven't seen a lot of that having success on first down for Edward Waters.
Trips to the far side for Edward Waters. A little sneak up front, just trying to get the first down, and they do. First down, Edward Waters.
Nice job up front by that offensive line just to be able to get enough movement to be able to pick up that first down. Quarterback finds a soft spot. Got another offensive lineman that is getting up really slow.
And, that was another thing that we looked at, is that if you had to get into the depth of your team because of injuries or whatever the case was, that could work against you if you're Edward Waters.
Well, hey, look, I know for them, they're able to get a first down in the third quarter. It took them all, they couldn't get a first down until the second quarter in the first half.
Here is the give to to Malik Stevens, the running back, and he is stopped for virtually no gain. It'll be second down.
Too much penetration that defensive line right there. We saw him try to move some guys as far as pull them earlier. Got to bring another lineman off. He had that left tackle. They're still short one. They rotated the right guard, but they're still short a lineman. All right, I guess they got him on the field.
Bertharoni Roberts, the freshman from Fort Lauderdale, comes off the field. And it'll be second down and inches. I should say it should be a second down and 10, rather, for Edward Waters. Here is the keeper by Branch. Nice little swing pass, and he gets it out to Darian Staten. And Staten picks up first down yardage for Edward Waters.
Yeah, and so nice adjustment by Edward Waters to be able to get in some offense, you know, some things that they want to do, and you see the quarterback be able to fake it, and this is almost a Gus Malzahn, Patrick Mahomes type play. He fakes it, and then he's able to really keep his eye on the receiver to where once that defense commits, he's able to toss it out there, and they pick up another first down. And so they've already matched their first half production as far as first downs is concerned on this opening drive of the third quarter for them.
16-2 in the first down category in the first half, and they've got the second one of this drive. Here is Branch, back to pass. He looks, he fires, and is complete. This time to Samuel Thompson, and he gets beyond the 35 and gets to about the 32-yard line, making it to 33, and it's another first down.
There's life. This offense, they have life. A nice in route by the receiver. Quarterback shows great patience to be able to just sit in the pocket. Jackson State hadn't brought a lot of pressure. I mean, anything that they've tried to do, it's been with that front four. And this, he sees the in route. That's probably the number 3 option on that play, and he's able to pick him up another first down for this Edward Waters offense.
4 receivers set here, and here's Branch taking off with the football, looking for an open receiver, and he'll just keep it, and he goes out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Now, he did have a receiver going downfield.
He couldn't throw it, though. He saw him. He had the receiver, and that's what Deion is talking to his corner, just letting him know, hey, look, you've got to stay with him. Just because that quarterback, and that was actually a movement play where they were trying to get him to the edge. Just because you see that quarterback kind of scrambling, stay with that receiver, because if he's able to really get his eyes down the field, that receiver, you know, he had a couple of steps on that play.
Second down and 7 here for Edward Waters. 37-0 our score. Jackson State on top, and got a flag. It's going to be a free play. This one goes up top, and nice catch by Staten. Unfortunately, I don't know, Samuel Thompson, rather. I don't know if that's going to be complete, though.
Nah, he was out of bounds when he caught it, but they will get the 5 yards. They were in the neutral zone. This is where Jackson State has to probably be a little bit more disciplined. You know, you talk to Coach.
Offside. Defense, number 94.
That's the call, but you talked to Coach Saunders about some of the things that he wanted to see, and that was, you know, just discipline on that defense. And you can see they're taking out that whole D-line. They're taking out that whole D-line, you know, just to make sure that everybody is on the same page. And it gives Coach Prime something to be able to stay on his guys about, you know, hey, look, it was easy the first half. They've gotten a little rhythm here offensively to come out and make it somewhat of a football game for him. And so that allows him to continue to coach and stay on his players.
Well, Edward Waters, second down and 2 now. And, boy, Branch is just wrapped up. He had nowhere to go. And on the sack was Jamoyne Crane, the defensive lineman from Puckett, Mississippi.
Well, that's one where the quarterback has to be able to give it to the running back. He's reading it all the way, and he decides to pull it, and Crane just makes a heck of a play. You know, quarterback decided to pull that football. He's got to give that one to the running back, because I don't know if I think the running back would have been able to get to the edge on that one, but the quarterback is reading that all the way.
Third down for Edward Waters back at the 30, make that the 28-yard line. You need to get to the 23-yard line for the first down. Man in motion now for Edward Waters.
Delay of game. Surprised Edward Waters didn't call the timeout, but the quarterback never saw it. And so you go from, second and 3, and then you get the lost yardage on the quarterback run, and now you're back to 3rd and 10. And so you make it hard. You did a couple good things on this drive, but some of the mistakes are climbing back in there for you.
And so now you went from manageable to where you had a number of different plays in your arsenal you could use to now where it's a little bit more difficult and a little bit more predictable here on 3rd down and 10.
Well, they're at empty, and now they're going to have to take another timeout because the play clock is already at 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Here's a timeout here. Didn't know what formation, didn't know what play they wanted to run, so you have a delay of game where you don't take a timeout, you lose the 5 yards, and now the next play you take a timeout where it's 3rd and 10. So
this will also be immediate timeout.
A little frustration by the coaching staff as well as the players.
37-0 is our score. The Jackson State University Tigers on top. Edward Waters trying to make some push. We'll take this timeout. We'll be right back. $37-0 is our score here at Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium, and you see Coach Prime there. He's doing a lot of shuffling in and out, doing a lot of coaching, and look, he's got one heck of an entourage. I saw the team come in, and sheriff's department, state troopers, city folks. It's going to be something else when you watch him travel. Edward Waters with the ball here on 3rd down, and is this picked off? I think this is going to be intercepted by Jackson State. And now a little bit more chippiness.
Yeah, no signal from the referees. They're discussing it right now. No signal yet. Yeah, they finally call it incomplete.
Yep, C.J. Holmes was the defensive back there trying to pick that off.
Really on the
they tried to set up a wide receiver screen or just a tunnel screen there, and just too much penetration there by Jackson State. Jackson State was able to just get too much penetration, and that ball may have been tipped there. It does hit the ground 2 times.
So it'll be 4th down and 10 at the 33-yard line for Edward Waters. They'll go for it here.
And here's a referee. They're going to stop play for. I don't know if they're trying to look at this play. Yeah, they want to look at it. The officials out on the field, they want to take another look at it. But that should be a quick review if they're going to review this.
Yeah, this is going to be a quick one because it did hit the ball. It hit the field
incomplete
twice.
Pass is under further review.
This should be a quick review by the officials. I don't know what angle, but if I'm at Waters, I want to get my guys over there to the sideline. I am trying to. They got to get the football down the field. I mean, you got to be able to push the football down the field. Some of the success they've had was the in route where they were able to really do a good job of as far as protecting the quarterback. But when they've tried to run some of the vertical stuff down the field, they haven't had a lot of success. So, but they've got to figure out a way to push this football down the field.
And this is that last play here, and there was all kinds of pressure coming from Jackson State. Again, that pressure was just so intense.
Well, they're running a tunnel screen. They're running a screen, so they're trying to allow those guys to get through. But you've got to hold them for at least 1,001, 1,002, and then allow them to go. You just can't allow that quick as far as it's going to throw off the timing between the quarterback and the wide receiver.
4th down and 10 once again for Edward Waters.
Jackson State is going to have 2 safeties out and 2 safeties up high.
Hughie will be in the backfield along with Branch. 4 receivers set. Branch back to pass, looking. And he is just swarmed at the 35-yard line.
Ball will go over on downs. It'll be 1st down and 10.
That'll be a turnover on downs. And what a job by Brian Mitchell, the senior from Daphne, Alabama.
Some of this is a coverage sack, but also that's a nice move by Brian Mitchell as the quarterback tries to step up into the pocket. He's just tracking the quarterback, and so that was one of the times that you did see them try to push the football down the field, and they just don't have enough time, and Brian Mitchell takes advantage of it. It's a turnover of downs, and Jackson State gets the football right there at the 35.
Jamani Crane will actually be credited with the tackle because he tripped him up all the way down. And this is a completed pass. And it is out there to the speedster once again, and it's Newman.
Just a bubble screen, easy throw for Jalen Jones. Something, you see it right there. Easy pitch and catch for him. Get the football to your playmaker.
2nd down and about 2 yards to go. Nice slip out of the tackle, and that's Clark. New quarterback in the game for Jackson State, Quincy Casey, now in, the redshirt freshman from Memphis.
And so that was Casey that threw the bubble screen as his first throw. We've seen him in action today, and running back had to limp off the field.
Next week, Jackson will be at home to open up SWAC play against Mississippi Valley. Whoa, and Casey lost the ball, and he recovers it, but way back in Jackson territory at about the 32-yard line. And it looked like one of the defenders from Edward Waters actually had a chance to pick it off.
That's the second time that Edward Waters has had a chance to be able to get a turnover, and they just couldn't complete it. I mean, and on this pass here, the ball just slips out of his hands, and 51, that should have been an interception for him, but he's not able to come up with it, and so a big loss on that play for Jackson State.
Fred Wright, the defensive end from Morrow, Georgia. And out of bounds after a minimal gain here on third down. It's going to be complete, and that's going to go out to Tyson Alexander from DeSoto, Texas. So quite a few new personnel in the ball game for Jackson State.
Rotating some guys in, and that was that swing screen that we saw earlier in that time. Edward Waters did a pretty good job of being able to lock them up on the sideline there.
4 receivers set. Quincy Casey back, now scrambling, going to his right, complete. Nice job reversing out to the 45, to the 40, and out of bounds inside the 40 at about the 39-yard line. And that was complete to Newman.
Newman is a playmaker. Just be able to get the football to him and good things happen. I mean, this is a long yardage that he's able to make 2 guys miss, and he's able to pick up that first down for Jackson State.
Matter of fact, one of the defenders took another defender out. So first down and 10, and here is the give. And he stood up right at about the 35-yard line, and that's going to be, once again, Alexander on the carry. And we probably have seen the last of Clark for the evening.
Jackson State, well, they can rotate backs, and also you'll probably see them start rotating some of those offensive linemen. We see the quarterback kind of getting in and, just getting some of those guys some experience.
Second down and 6 for Jackson State. Here's the give. Fumble on the play, and it's recovered by the quarterback. Quincy Casey gets it across the 30-yard line to about the 31, maybe the 32. He might have enough for a first down. So what could have been a disaster on that fumble by Alexander turned into some positive yardage and a first down.
Well, you can talk about on that tackle, he put his helmet right on the football, and the ball has just bounced right for Jackson State. I mean, you talk about the 3 turnovers that they should have had. They've been able to recover all of them.
Andrew Brown, the linebacker from Jacksonville, on the hit. And Casey looking deep, trying to find an opening. Caught! And that's going to be inside the 5-yard line to about the 1. I should say it's going to be intercepted.
Nah, it's a catch, but it's coming back. It's holding. He caught it at the 1. It should have been it should have been offensive pass interference, but it's coming back because of a holding call. I mean, but it's right there. It was actually a heck of a catch by the receiver, and the quarterback just put it up there perfectly. But yeah, it's coming back because of the holding call. But I mean, outstanding effort by the receiver, and the quarterback just makes Casey just makes a play. Casey is able to move in the pocket, and he puts that ball perfectly, and the receiver got away with a little nudge there on the defender, but it's coming back because of the holding.
Dalen Baldwin actually came up with a big catch, and now it's going to be first down and 20 after the penalty. Here's a little screen, and it's going to be incomplete. It was intended for number 31, Greg Williams.
Edward Waters, defensive lineman, they did a nice job of being able to track once they felt the screen and just felt that pressure release from those offensive linemen. They did a nice job of being able to track and break that play up.
Well, that will make it. Here's a opportunity for Jackson and nothing doing. Edward Waters right there on defense to wrap things up at about the 41-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and long here for Jackson State.
One of the things you see with Casey in at quarterback is if he doesn't have his first read, he's holding on to the football a little bit too long. And, if it's not there, throw it away.
Throw it away, yeah.
Yeah, throw it away. And that's one of the things that you see with him, just holding on to the football. The first play, first time opportunity, he was able to move in the pocket and made a play down the field. But that time, tackle for no gain.
Newman in motion. Here's Casey back to pass. Casey looking deep, trying to find an open receiver. Incomplete. No flags on the play.
Referees kind of let him play a little bit there. Probably could have called pass interference, defensive pass interference, and the fans don't like it. They're letting the refs hear their displeasure there. And Casey tried to give him an opportunity to make a play.
Whoa, boy, I tell you what.
There's a lot of contact now. There's a lot of contact there. Got the hand up around the shoulder pad, but the refs let him play a little bit.
Cortland Hubbard was the intended receiver from Jackson. Punting time now for Jackson State. This one will hit at about the 10 and go into the end zone for a touchback. And Edward Waters will get the ball 1st down and 10.
Timeout.
37-0 is our score. 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. It's all Jackson here in the capital city. $37-0 our score. Jackson State University on top of Edward Waters with 2:04 remaining in the 3rd quarter of play. And if you're Edward Waters and you just wanted to see if you can put together a drive. You did pretty well in the last drive.
Yeah,
you got stuck.
That's exactly right. They kind of hurt themselves with the delay of game penalty and put themselves, at a disadvantage. And see if they can do it again here.
Staten on the carry, gets to about the 24-yard line, and there's some offensive line changes here for Edward Waters because of the injuries that were there.
And this time they go with the jet sweep with the quarterback under center. And remember the first drive that they had of that second half or of the 3rd quarter, they were able to get, it was second and 2 or 2nd and 1. This time, they actually end up losing a yard. So not how you want to start a drive.
Tyquan Cooper, that big left guard over there, he's wearing that jersey like Jim Burt from the Giants. Here's the give to the running back, and he gets a yard or two.
Just no movement.
Yep. Stevens can't really go anywhere with the ball, and he gets a couple of yards. That's about it. But you're 3rd down and long. 3rd and 9 now.
And one of the best plays that they've had, is the RPO look, just trying to read the linebacker to see if he's out covering or if he moves a little bit when we fake it to the running back where they can hit him right behind where that linebacker voided.
Here's Branch once again looking downfield. Now he'll scramble with it, come to his right. There's a little real estate open, and he'll get out of bounds at about the 23-yard line, but he'll be well short of a 1st down.
And that time, you talk about trying to go down the field and just nothing there. And Jackson State can play coverage because it is, 3rd and forever, 3rd and long. And you go back and you look at that 4th down, they were able to get the sack on that play with Mitchell as far as coming off of his defensive end position. And now the quarterback, it looks like that he can pick up some yardage, but he's able to pick up, 3 yards, 4 yards,
yep.
And just nowhere really to go with the football down the field because Jackson State can play coverage.
Newman back deep, Severe to kick for Edward Waters.
Another delay of game. Yeah, another delay of game, and I know they're trying to just bleed the clock out. There's only 12 seconds left in the quarter, and those are the things that you don't want. Those are the things that you don't want. It's one thing for the other team to beat you, but it's another when you contribute and you don't help yourself. You help them, you allow them to beat you because of you not doing your job.
Severe will kick from his own 9. This is a high one, too. Newman takes it at the 46, at the 45-40. Newman's got some space, gets across the 30 to about the 28-yard line. He nearly broke one, and it would just this place would have come unglued had he been able to break that loose.
That's all we're waiting on. I mean, just for him to be able to hit one of those as far as the punt is concerned. We've saw them have a big kickoff return, and that's the only thing that they've missed so far as the return game is concerned.
That's the end of the third quarter. 37-0 our score. Jackson State on top, out in front, and in control. Coach Prime trying to get his win. We'll take this time out. We'll be right back. SWAC football on ESPN is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Get the gear in here to have fun out there. Academy Sports and Outdoors, the official sporting goods retailer of the SWAC. By Credit Versio. Get your credit score up to where it should be with Credit Versio. Visit creditversio.com. 37-0 is our score as we start the final stanza here in Jackson, Mississippi. The first game for head coach Deion Sanders and Jackson State University. Next week they open up SWAC play against Mississippi Valley, and there'll be some folks coming from the northern part of Mississippi to the capital city next week.
The Delta will show up.
Oh, no doubt. If they could bring the band, they'd bring them too.
They would bring them, no doubt about it.
And just about ready to start here. Back in the ballgame, by the way, for Jackson State is Jalen Jones. And we have a stoppage of play.
Yeah, false start by the offensive line. That's one of the toughest things. Like I said, you get that offensive line that's down in this stance. They're waiting, and just get a little antsy.
So it'll be 1st and 15 now for Jackson State as we've just started things.
Reset the game clock to 15 minutes, please.
Yeah, you can't run it because of the false start.
Yep. We're still waiting for the clock to be reset. Jalen Jones back in the ball game now for Jackson State. 1st down and 10 for the Tigers. Tight end in motion. Here is the give. And this one's to Greg Robinson across the 25 to about down to about the 22, making the 23-yard line.
And we've seen them just be able to rely on that offensive line. And, you talk about the double team blocks up front and, that zone blocking, and they're just moving people.
It's just like a big shovel. They're just moving the earth out of the way. Jones scrambles to his right, tosses it out, gets it to the tight end. And that, once again, is going to be Robert Washington Jr., senior from right here in Jackson.
Defender that made the tackle there. He's the one that got banged up a little bit. I think that's the linebacker, number 37. Came down on the ground. Well, he came down on the shoe. It looked like he was holding his chest as he hit the ground, and that's just a nice play design. We haven't seen them, Jackson State, run that kind of bootleg a little bit where they are able to get it to the tight end in the flat.
Cameron Valentine will take a timeout while we have this injury on the field. We'll take this break. We'll be right back. SWAC football on ESPN is presented by USAA, the official military appreciation partner of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Plenty of football action from the conference on ESPN and ESPN3 and ESPNU. We'll tell you about that shortly. Jackson with the ball. Here is the give by Jones to Williams. Williams gets across the 10-yard line down to about the 5. Now Jackson State can get a 1st down inside the 2. Coach Prime, you got to be happy about what you've seen so far. And, he's a perfectionist now. He's always going to be able to look and see what's going on. Here is the give to Williams once again. He stops short of the goal line.
Should be enough for a first down, and all they did was flip the play. They run that split zone twice, and first time they ran it to the right, this time they run it to the left. And here the quarterback is going under center. They run just a quarterback sneak here.
Here's a give to Williams. Williams, does he get across?
Should be enough for it. There it is.
And touchdown, Jackson State. Greg Williams score, and it's now 43-0. Jackson on top of Edward Waters. 13:26 remaining in the ball game.
And we saw Jalen Jones, quarterback, when he gone up under center, they run that kind of that was a split zone again. It was just under center instead of out of shotgun like that run the previous two plays. But just that offensive line has just gotten movement all day, just zone blocking and able to punch it in the end zone.
Yeah, no question about that. Extra point try coming up. The kick is up. Whoa, way short. Didn't even get up.
Knuckleball.
43-0 is the score. And on that extra point, Glenn Masake, the transfer from Mississippi College, couldn't even get that one up. But nonetheless, Jackson gets on the scoreboard. 43-0 is the count.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. If you remember the last time that they scored, they went for two.
Yeah, they did.
And so they kind of use two different kickers. Have a different kicker for kicking off. And you have another one that's kicking field goals, and that ball, he never got up under it. It looked like they're talking on the sideline like he overextended it, but he never got under that football. That was like a knuckleball.
About 12,000 fans here today at Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium, and I'm sure there'll be 12,000 plus next week when everybody in the Delta comes down to see Jackson State. Valley and Jackson State coming up next weekend. It'll be the conference opener for Valley. Here is the kick. Comes down at about the 20, out to 25, and maybe out to the 29-yard line. On the return for Edward Waters, that's Spencer Carter. Deuce, I tell you what, this is it's going to be an exciting season. Jackson State is going to be on television a lot. And, you have to just be honest about what's going on, where you're at, what you're doing. Coach Prime is going to demand a lot of attention this year. #1 recruiting class in FCS. And, it's one stat that I really found interesting. When you look at the number of 4-star players that they were signed in all of the G5, there were 2. Jackson State signed 2.
They signed 2.
Yeah.
That just tells you the talent that he has coming in, and a lot of those guys, they cannot play just because a lot of them played this fall, and since this technically is a fall season, they have to be able to sit out it. But I think the future is definitely bright for the Jackson State Tigers.
43-0 is our score. Edward Waters with the ball. Here's Branch. He hands it off, and he gets it to Hughie.
Here's one thing, as well as this defensive play, Keonta Hampton, that's a stop right there, but he hadn't made as many plays in the backfield that we know he can. You go back to the first drive of the game, and he almost comes up with the interception. But it's been other guys that have stepped up for this Jackson State defense, and that's a good sign, because if you don't have to lean on him as much, then, that's going to make this defense even better.
Here's a handoff. Whoa, and a stop, nearly a stop, but Branch able to get away. He gets out to about the 35-yard line. And, not only Jackson, of course, they'll start next week at home in conference play, but, Edward Waters, they've got a bright future ahead of them. A new stadium with turf, trying to move up to Division II to the likes of Tuskegee and Fort Valley State, Morehouse, and the SIAC. And, that's a big move when you're talking about going from the NAIA to Division II. And, their new athletic director, Dr. Paul Bryant, he said in an interview that, they want to make things happen at Edward Waters. They want to continue to raise the bar. And, that kind of a move in Florida in Division II, and you're the only other Division II school in the state, huge.
Well, the one thing I can tell you, there's plenty of talent down in Florida. There is plenty of talent where you won't have to even leave the state if you don't want to, as far as to get guys to come and play. I mean, because you look at what some of the other schools can do as far as signing kids year in and year out. With you moving to Division II, that shows that they are serious and committed. I think that they will be able to make that jump, from the NAIA up to Division II. So, this game. Yes, you want to be a little bit more competitive, but I think it shows that, hey, look, guys, we're headed in the right direction. And Coach Ruffin, he's talked about that, and it's just getting his guys to kind of believe that they do belong, and they can play with some of the bigger teams.
Here is the punt. Comes down at about the 29, out to the 40. Stays on his feet, out to the 45, midfield, 40. Clark still on his feet. 10, almost into the end zone, just stopped short.
Electric. I mean, that's just electric. We've seen Newman back there so many times, and, we said at some point that punt return unit is going to be able to pop one, and, he was able to set up that wall, and he was able to break a couple of tackles, and he's able to get to that wall, and once he does, it's just almost just finding that soft spot, and right there you couldn't pull out the end to be able to get to the end zone, and they're able to tackle you right there at the by the shoelaces, and probably got a little bit of fatigue and tired there as well.
Studsville gets the return. We'll take a time. We're going to keep it right here. Well, Studsville gets a huge return, and Jackson State gets a first down at the 10-yard line. Here's the give. And it's to Tyson Alexander, and he gets to about the 7-yard line.
Jackson State rotating those running backs in, letting everybody get a little taste of it. Quincy Casey back in at quarterback. Finally, the defensive lineman goes down. No, he went down. He was hurt, but he was trying to get off the field, and he wasn't going to make it. And so he finally goes down before he gets to the sideline. So they're able to sub in his replacement.
Well, in Edward Waters, they've had quite a few injuries.
Well, I mean, but that's what happens when you play a team that, they have more bodies. They have more guys. You don't have as much depth as they do. We saw it, early in the game where defensive line, you've got a couple guys that are going down, and you just don't have the bodies. You don't have the depth, the overall depth, and so you've seen them try to rotate some of those guys in, and, most of those guys have been able to return back. But, yeah, I mean, up front, they don't have the numbers.
Jackson will take on Mississippi Valley. I think that was a 3 p.m. start. Nice defense by Edward Waters. And once again, Alexander on the carry.
Yeah, well, we've seen Jackson State rotate the quarterbacks the last couple of series. You've seen them get some of the other guys, younger guys in there on the offensive line as well as the running backs.
3rd and goal now for Jackson State. Man in motion now for the Tigers, and that's Allen. Here's Quincy with the pass, and he got hit as he let the ball go. That's going to be incomplete.
One of the only true shots that, Edward Waters has been able to get on the quarterback, and this is just a blitz off of the edge. I think the back should have probably picked him up, and Quincy doesn't feel him, doesn't see him, and he's hit right as he's trying to release the football. So Jackson State has to attempt a field goal here.
So right around a 26-yard field goal. Here's a snap. The hold is down. The kick is up, and it is good. So a timeout on the field. It is now 46-0. We'll take this timeout. Jackson trying to shut it out here against Edward Waters. We'll take this timeout. We'll be right back. Back here at Mississippi Veterans Memorial Stadium, Santoria Black along with Deuce McAllister. 46-0 is our score. Jackson on top after the field goal. And, you know, if you are Edward Waters, the only thing that you can really do here is, you know, you just got to try to put some things together, try to work on your game. I mean, we knew that this was going to happen. You know, I think the game they had against Southern was 61-0. You know, they scored a couple of times against Prairie View, and Coach Ruffin said they had a bad second quarter, and they ended up scoring a couple of times. But it's just one of those things.
They're going to recover it.
They are going to recover, and that's Jackson's ball.
Wow.
That is Jackson's ball. They just let it go and did not recover it.
And that's on the returner. The returner has to be able to get over there, even if you straddle the line. I mean, he was hoping that ball went out of bounds, but it does not go out of bounds. And, you know, you've got to be able to get over there, even if you just knock it out.
Wow.
You know, in a perfect world, you want to catch it with 1 foot out of bounds, or at least have 1 foot out of bounds to touch it. So now you get the ball. I think it should have been at the 35, but that ball right there, that's a live football. You have to be able to go up there. And if you can't knock it out of bounds, at least be able to recover that football.
Darian Staten could not recover, and now Jackson's offense right back on the field. And here's Quincy going down the field. Touchdown, Jackson State. What a catch there by Christian Allen, the wide receiver from Mendenhall, Mississippi. And that's the first touchdown of the season for Quincy Casey.
Nice job with selling the play action. It's just a deep cross, almost like a Silzers route. He's running a post, and you get those corners that are playing one-on-one in that situation. They didn't stand a chance, and that's sudden change right away. Tigers go up top for another touchdown.
52-0, extra point try is up and good. Timeout on the field with the score. Jackson State 53, Edward Waters nothing, and just like that, Jackson puts 7 on the board. We'll take this timeout after this touchdown pass from Quincy Casey out to Christian Allen. We'll be right back. The offense of Jackson State putting in a good day's work. 53-0 is our score, and you know, anytime that you have prime time around, it is prime time. He's got boom mics, he's got production crews. I mean, it's going to be Jackson State reality TV as well.
Well, it's a reality TV show, and that's what we were talking about earlier in the game. I mean, it was basically, it's the cameras. I mean, all the cameras down on the sideline before the kickoff, and it was a lot of excitement, and for good reason.
Oh, yeah. You know, look, bringing excitement back into Jackson State, you know, that's a huge thing. And here is the kickoff, this time received. And getting the kickoff was Deshaun Hugie. And he gets out to about the 30-yard line, and it'll be first down and 10 for Edward Waters.
A couple things that Edward Waters, when you go back and look at it, you know, and Coach Ruffin, he has to be able to discuss, hey, look, guys, we can't turn the football over. You know, we can't turn the football over, particularly on special teams. You know, and how can we figure out a way to make it easy offensively? They had one drive where they looked like, you know, hey, look, this is what we can do. We can go out here. We can string some first downs together. You know, they were able to use a little bit of play action, use a little bit of RPO action. Those are some of the things that they're going to have to continue to work on and make sure that they can do consistently.
I think a lot of the other thing is, you know, your play with the quarterback. Of course, you know, Coach Ruffin talked about that, and that's just growth. Got to continue to grow. Here is the handoff. Gain of about 4 or 5 yards on the play. Stevens on the carry.
Well, some of that, when you talk about that growth, though, as well, you know, giving your receivers a chance to compete for some of those deep throws. I mean, because you talk about going down the field vertical, they just hadn't done it.
No.
You know, a lot of the receptions that they've had have been bubble screens, or, you know, you talk about just off of that action with the RPO, just reading that linebacker to see where he's at, if you can tuck it in right behind him. But, you know, when you talk about just challenging a corner in a one-on-one situation, they hadn't been able to complete any throws.
And that ball, he almost lost it in the air. The carry by Stevens. Virtually nothing there on that gain. It'll be third down.
Yeah, at this point, you know, they're just running clock. Not trying to go really fast as far as they're lining up on the ball, and then they go look back down at that play. But, I mean, at this point, you know, you just want to, hey, look, guys, let's try not to get anybody hurt.
You got some big kids up front that, once they get a little bit more experience, they're going to really be something else. Here's Branch, and he's going down. On the sack, number 64, Travarius Clark, the defensive lineman from Gloucester, Mississippi.
And this is, he had the hook throw. He's got to let it go, but he just held on to the football just a little bit too long, trying to come up with the big play, and it's just not there. At some point, you just got to trust what you see, and Jackson State, they can play off. They can play coverage just because they know the situation that you're in, and you're trying to push the ball down the field, and you just got to let it go. It would have been the receiver. He catches the football, he's got to make a play for you, but I mean, if it's only a 3 or 4 yard gain, that's what it's got to be.
Yeah. Punting time here for Edward Waters. A lot of pressure there, and that's going to be a flag for roughing. The ball will roll dead at about the 37 or 38 yard line, but that is a flag for roughing.
Yeah, and that's going to be an automatic first down. That was 4th and 12, 4th and 13, and the offense will come back on the field for Edward Waters.
And it's a good thing because you give your defense a rest, number one. But the second thing is it gives you an opportunity to try to work on things. If you're Jackson, though, that is a big penalty. And, as you keep on playing throughout this spring season, those are the kind of penalties that can be game changers.
Well, you can't have. I mean, you look at some of the things that Coach Prime will have to say, hey, look, guys, yes, we won the football game, but this is some things that we cannot do. We cannot put the football on the ground 3 times. We were fortunate enough every time to be able to go and recover those footballs. And the other thing that I want to see Jackson State be able to do is push the football down the field. Outside of the last touchdown throw by Quincy Casey, they haven't really tried to push the football down the field a lot.
First down and 10 for Edward Waters. The ball will be resting at their own 44 yard line. Here's Branch, gets it out to the tight end.
That's the read right there. I mean, you want to be able to read what that linebacker is doing. If he flows hard because he sees that action with the running back, then Branch, the quarterback, his job is basically to be able to pull it, and he's hit that tight end. They've probably hit him like 3 times maybe today off of that play, but those are the type of plays that they've got to be able to execute at a high level and, pretty much execute more of.
Bisbee on the reception, and now it's first down and 10 for Edward Waters. They are in Jackson territory at the 46. Oh, what a hit. And after taking a hit like that to still get positive yardage, that is a tough run. And on the carry, Spencer Carter.
They're just trying to run a single back power play, and that's just way too much penetration by Jackson State. That defensive line is getting so much penetration there. It's tough. He's unblocked. The running back does a good job of just holding on to the football and, like you saying, picking up 1 or 2 yards.
Keontae Hampton on the tackle for Jackson State. Second down and 8 now for Edward Waters. Here is the give. And this time it's going to be Hughie, and he lost the football. There was no whistle on the play.
He's calling him down.
He's calling him. They will call him down.
Yeah, he's calling him down. They didn't blow him down, but they're calling him down.
Hughie was thrown down like a sack of feed.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's a physical tackle. I mean, because it looked like he was going to be able to get to the edge and have some running yardage, but he does not at all.
That ball was coming out before he hit the ground.
Yeah, that ball was coming out before he hit the ground. And that's one where if you're Prime, you want to be able to challenge it a little bit, but that ball definitely came out.
DeJohn Warren from Landover, Maryland, picking up the football, but nonetheless, it will be Edward Waters football. And for them, it's thank God, because otherwise that would have been a touchdown. But that was definitely a fumble.
Yes.
Here's Branch back to pass, looking, going deep, trying to find an open receiver, incomplete. Intended receiver was Samuel Thompson, the transfer from Southern Illinois.
It's triple coverage.
Yep.
Branch, that's one where you got to be able to see, hey, look, this is my primary guy. He's not covered. you've got the safety, you've got the underneath coverage, and then you've got the backside corner that's getting involved in that play. You've got to be able to get your eyes to your number 2 and your number 3 option. I mean, and that's one where the whole time I look, I don't like what I see to the left side. I come back to the right of the field, the inside receiver, and he's covered.
Had some stunting going on the field, and you could tell that they were putting pressure on him. 4th down and 10, I should say. Here is Branch back to pass. He'll take off with it. 40, 35. He gets a first down. Nice pickup for Branch and Edward Waters. They move the chains with 4:23 remaining in the ball game.
Well, one thing Branch he was decisive at that moment. You know, he didn't like what he saw down the field, but he decided, hey, look, I'm going to put my foot in the ground and I am going to run at least to give myself an opportunity to try to pick up this first down, and that's exactly what he does.
So 1st down and 10 with 4:01 remaining here in the ball game. Jackson State 53, Edward Waters nothing. Here's Branch back to pass once again, looking, and he's going to escape pressure. Still on his feet and goes down. I mean, he loses big yardage.
He's trying to be Houdini in that situation, but Jackson State, you know, they're winning those one-on-one battles as he's trying to push the football really down the field. And you know, he doesn't have anything deep. And you know, we talked about that vertical passing game not really being there. It's been more so the underneath stuff. And you know, as they try to get this football, Jackson State is pitching the shutout, man. I mean, they want to hold on to shutting Edward Waters out, and you know, Branch he's trying to make something happen and just not able to do so.
It's been a tough night at the office for Branch, who, by the way, is just a sophomore. Branch backing up, and he gets the ball to his running back, Hughie, and he's going to be tackled at about the 44-yard line, make it the 43.
Third and a long way to go. Just a delayed draw there for Hughie. Jackson State playing with really 3 safeties in the middle of the field, 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and you can play soft coverage. And
3rd and 20.
Yeah,
looks like. Now Branch is directing some traffic here. Back to pass. Branch looking deep. Gets the ball out to Thompson. Thompson stays on his feet. He's beyond the 30. He's going to be well short of the first down by about 4 yards.
But at least that puts him in an opportunity to go for it here. You know, and like I said, Jackson State will give you that all day, and that's been there for him just because they're playing over the top with the 3 safeties and just trying to make sure that they don't give up, you know, anything over the top. And Branch checks it down, but they're able to at least make it competitive, a 4th down opportunity.
4th down and 4 for Edward Waters.
Jackson State bringing pressure right now.
And they're going to call a timeout.
Yeah, they're checking out of it. Edward Waters calls a timeout. They saw both of those linebackers. They were bringing pressure in the A. Well, it looked like in the B gaps. Edward Waters called timeout. Like I said, they want to score.
Yes.
They want to score. They want to put some points on the board, and obviously Jackson State, their defense, they want to pitch the shutout.
We'll take this timeout, 53-0. Jackson State on top. We'll take the timeout. We'll be right back. In Jackson, Mississippi, the Tigers on top of Edward Waters, 53-0. And Edward Waters has 4th down and 4 with 1 minute and 33 seconds remaining in the ball game. Edward Waters trying to score. Here's Branch on 4th down. Branch looking, trying to escape pressure, and Branch is just going to throw it and heave it up, but there's nobody at home, and there'll be a turnover on downs for Edward Waters and a flag.
Yeah, it's going to be intentional grounding. Ball has to get to the line of scrimmage. Nobody at home as far as in that area. Intentional grounding, loss of downs, should be Jackson State football.
And they can basically just kneel on the ball and run it out.
And the defense does pitch the shutout. How about that for Coach Thurman and prime time, Coach Saunders, Dion pitching a shutout in your first game.
Offense, number 3. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. This is a loss of down play. Jackson State, first down.
First down and 10 for Jackson State.
Correction, it's number 10 instead of number 3.
Last time shutting out an opponent was 59-0, 2014. That's when Jackson State last shut out an opponent. Quincy with the throw. And he gets it out to the running back. I should say the wide receiver, Dalen Baldwin.
A little surprising here. Yeah. Throwing the football.
And 16 left. Well, I guess Coach Prime says we're going to work on some things. Here's Quincy Casey. And he's just going to hold the ball and toss it up, and it's caught and then dropped. So incomplete pass with 1:08 remaining in the ball game.
He threw that football with his left hand. He put it in. He had it in his right hand. He throws right hand. He's got so much pressure. He puts this football in his left hand to be able to just throw it.
And chunks it up and nearly got it.
And almost had the completion with it.
And this pass is incomplete. Out to Christian Allen.
I know you want to work on some stuff, but I could guarantee you got some people that are banking this and putting this in the back of their heads, and you got an opportunity to maybe take a knee. You're working on your 2-minute offense, or at the end of the game offense, whatever you want to call it.
1:03 remaining. Third down and 10. Quincy Casey back to pass. Gets it out to the wide receiver, Christian Allen.
Christian Allen on the reception.
That'll be fourth down at the 45-yard line of Edward Waters. And they're going to go for it here.
Hey, whatever it takes.
Caught. And that'll be enough for a first down with 31 seconds remaining.
Prime is not taking anything off. Pushing it all the way.
Casey to the side. It's incomplete with 14 seconds remaining. They'll have time for maybe 1 or 2 more plays here if they keep doing this.
Yeah, you can technically probably run 2. They have timeouts. They're not trying to use them, but
Casey back to pass looking, and it is complete. Once again out to Christian Allen. And that'll do it. 53-0 the final score, and Coach Prime gets his first win and his first Gatorade bath as the head coach of Jackson State University. Any thoughts on this one? I mean, this was, of course, we knew that this could be a blowout, and Jackson State just really played well on offense. Edward Waters, we know they're a growing program and they'll continue to grow. But this is just this was about head coach Deion Sanders and trying to get that first win.
Well, Deion Sanders did enough as far as his group, you know, and they were a talented football team, and you can see the excitement that he has brought to the city and to this football team. And as they continue to grow, they'll step up in competition as far as, you know, obviously an opponent. But this is a great first step for the Jackson State Tigers, and, you know, trying to rebrand that program exactly who they want to be and things that they want to do.
Well, in 2019, the W.C. Gordon Classic Trophy went to Grambling State University, and here in 2021, it comes back to Jackson State University. And so head coach Deion Sanders and the Jackson State University Tigers, in honor of the legendary coach, will be able to bring that trophy back here and put it in the case as his first Classic Trophy as head coach. Well, I'll tell you what's going to be exciting to see Jackson State University football all season long. Next week they'll take on Mississippi Valley. 3 p.m. is the kick time from right here at the Vet in Jackson, Mississippi. And can't wait to see how that one turns out because, Valley, they're much improved, and you'll see a lot different play because it is SWAC football.
It is SWAC football. It'll be a little bit, like I said, the competition will be a little bit better, but I think, you have to love the excitement and the product that Jackson State has been able to put out on the field, and as they continue to grow on some of the things that they want to do.
And, of course, they are presenting the trophy and the offensive and defensive players of the game. Warren Newman was the offensive player of the game, and for Jackson State University, the defensive player of the game was Crane. That'll do it. Final score 53-0. Jackson State University wins. So for Deuce McAllister, I'm Santoria Black saying so long from Jackson. And again, the final score 53-0. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.